We got Aaron Rodgers updates, Lamar Jackson updates, Trey Lance updates. We've got quarterback money to talk about, who's getting extended, Hurts, Burrow, Herbert, the gang, all getting new money soon. What players are potentially in play or out of play for the Lamar Jackson sweepstakes? We got Mike Thomas news, Zeke Elliott news, Sam Darnold news. We've got Matthew Stafford news. We've got all kinds of news. The NFL had a meeting today here in your boys' state, here in Arizona. Number 0 can now be worn by players. The Fantasy Football Show begins right now.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com studios, it's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
What is going on, good people? My name is Smitty. You're watching the Fantasy Football Show, and today we are going to discuss a bunch of things. Everything you see on screen, we'll be talking about that and more, and we'll be taking your phone calls like we usually do, so get ready to dial in, and if somebody's got a 10 or 20 second question, I'll answer it, hang up on you as I go through the news. We're not going to have a panel or any sort of long, lengthy phone line, but if you have a dire question relating to the topic at hand, dial in. I'll answer the phone real quick, answer your question, and then hang up on you. So phone lines are open and at the bottom of the screen as usual. Aaron Rodgers, there is news. At first, the building today was David Ramos, followed by Thomas. Jake, appreciate you. JCIM, appreciate you. Bella, check yourself. Mr. Random, Mike, appreciate Richie. Everybody in here. Richie Rich, appreciate you being here, Richie. Where you been? Hit that like button. Aaron Rodgers. There's a potential deal that's in the works, very, very close to getting done. Yahoo is reporting that the Packers could receive a 2023 second-round pick and a 2024 second-rounder in exchange for Aaron Rodgers. That second-rounder could be conditional. There's a lot of different buzz regarding this contract. There's also potential compensation that goes back to the New York Jets in 2025, like the third rounder, fourth rounder. Who knows what the actual pick is going to be? That's probably what they're debating right now, if Aaron Rodgers steps away after 1 year. So there's a lot of conditional things to the deal. The Jets want to be protected if Aaron Rodgers plays 1 year and then they get something in return. I don't know if it'll be a second, a third, a fourth, or a fifth. I imagine it'll be later picks, and it's a smaller part of this deal. But the framework looks like it actually is finally ironed out. The one thing people need to understand, and I've said this before, really anybody's been saying it. Now you're hearing it a lot from different networks or whatever. Aaron Rodgers really can't be traded until June 1. So this whole, we're waiting for him, what's going to happen? We don't, are we just, is Aaron Rodgers the cause? Are the Packers dragging their feet? Why isn't this getting done? Are we worried it's not going to get done? It's not getting done until June 1 anyway. Now, you would like to have this done before the draft in terms of like execution. Now, let me preface, let me throw a caveat in. It could get done before the NFL draft if, let's say, there's a draft pick involved. Like, for example, we're talking about 2023 second rounder. So this would essentially get done before the NFL draft if this is the situation. But I believe Aaron Rodgers, if he's traded before June 1, there's a $40.3 million cap hit, dead cap hit that goes toward the Packers. So that's why they're probably negotiating how they want to approach this. If he gets cut after June 1, there's 2 cap hits over the course of 2 years. One's 15.8 mil. The other one's something along the lines of 24 mil that gets spread out over the course of 2 years. So there's an advantage for the Packers to trade him before June 1, before the NFL draft, take the one lump sum hit, rebuild a little more than they would like in 2023, and then have that off the books for 2024, have Jordan Love 1 more year prepared. That might be the route they want to take. That might be. So he can't be traded unless the Packers want to take the lump sum hit, which is what we're hearing is maybe in the cards. But if they don't want to take that hit and they want to spread it out, they got to come up with some other different, situation. So that's what's probably the big hang up. How to approach that. Will Aaron Rodgers be traded before the NFL draft or after the NFL draft? My guess is that 2023 second round pick that we're talking about, the draft capital in the 2023 NFL draft is going to be important enough for the Packers to say, we'll take the lump sum hit, go ahead. And there's also fine details in contracts that come out later. So this is what's being reported. It hasn't been reported by too many people, but you're starting to hear about it now, that there is a potential June 1 date that is important. So Aaron Rodgers deal potentially in the works. Now, there is some more information in regards to Aaron Rodgers, real briefly, that, Packers GM talking about how Aaron Rodgers didn't return any phone calls. They had to move on. We've heard a different story from Aaron Rodgers. The two sides are telling two very different tales. You can choose to believe who you want to believe. I kind of think it's probably somewhere in between. I think Aaron Rodgers probably did communicate. Maybe Aaron Rodgers texted back and they're referencing a call that they called him on. Like, who knows? But Aaron Rodgers did make it very abundantly clear that he would come out of the darkness retreat and have potentially an answer very, very soon after, and that he would let everybody know before the league calendar year. The Packers had a different expectation despite Aaron Rodgers literally mapping that out to the public and to the Green Bay Packers. And we won't really know who's telling the God honest truth about the communication style or the distance between text messages and phone calls and answering phone calls. We'll never know. We could sit here and bicker about who's at fault, who's more likely to have been the problem of this relationship. But what we do know, none of that matters, right? None of that matters anymore, and I really don't care anymore. I really could care less if Aaron Rodgers dragged his feet, did a horrible job here, did a horrible job there. I really don't care, because he's going to the New York Football Jets. It's going to happen. The Packers speak about it like it's going to happen. There is certainly that vibe of there's no sense of urgency. It doesn't need to happen this very second. There is a lot of that going around, but it's going to happen because the Packers either want to use that draft pick in 2023 or they want to move on for Jordan Love's developmental sake. Because if Jordan Love is sitting here watching all this unfold and it continues to linger and linger, it is bad for his development. The Packers have a whole lot of reasons to move on. The Jets have a whole lot of reasons to move on very quickly. It sounds like a deal's getting cooked up. But I just want to say this. I could care less whether Aaron Rodgers dragged his feet or not. Aaron Rodgers walked in 90% wanting to retire. 90%. I don't really blame the Packers for wanting to move on. It was odd to move on in the middle of his darkness retreat. So we can sit here and squabble about whether Aaron Rodgers handled it wrong or the Packers handled it wrong. But the bottom line is he went in, and when he came out, there was a decision made to move on. And guess what? He was 90% going to step away. When he came out, read the text messages from his good old buddies, Randall Cobb and gang, and they said, hey, guess what? The Packers decided to move on. He said 90%. Pull that meter, transfer 90% down to 10%, 10% down to 90%, recharge the other side of the batteries and said, I'm coming out for blood. And I'm gonna show the Packers they shouldn't have put a chip on my shoulder. And I don't care why it happened. I really don't. All I know is Garrett Wilson's going to the moon.
Mashed potatoes.
All I know is Breece Hall's going to the moon. And all I know and all I care about is Aaron Rodgers is going to look fantastic as he heads to the moon in 2023. So enough about Aaron Rodgers, who bickered about this first, who started this. I could care less. I don't care. I want Aaron Rodgers in New York. He's going to be in New York, and that's all there is to it. So we're moving on from that topic, and I really don't care about Aaron Rodgers, his approach, what he did wrong, blah, blah, blah. This is Aaron Rodgers time. This is New York Jets football time.
Mashed potatoes.
Now, we move on briefly to Lamar Jackson because there is new Lamar Jackson news. The Colts are a player for Lamar. And the verbiage used today at the owner meetings eliminated some teams and potentially just smoke screen eliminated some teams. And I think we need to remember that this is smoke season. So even in the case of the Washington Commanders, two personnel. We're talking about GM. We're talking about multiple people, coach, GM, talking about this situation and saying that we don't see Lamar Jackson as a piece for our team. So we can pretty much say that the Washington Commanders are out as of this moment. But I will also add this right here. that the potential sale of this organization, who's to say that the ownership isn't going to come in and make a decision for the GM and coaching staff and say, look, we want to bring Lamar in. So don't think for a second that this is a closed door, even though we heard directly from GM, coach, staff, personnel, highest ranking personnel we could come across. And ownership doesn't matter, right? Who's to say this isn't going to shift in a different direction? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So we need to keep that in mind, that the acquisition of this Washington Commander football team could make some waves. However, will this be executed before, right after, way after the NFL draft, and Lamar Jackson already be on the team? Absolutely. So as it stands right now, the Washington Commanders are probably not a player for Lamar Jackson. They're probably not a player for Lamar Jackson. Let's go to the Colts. The Colts are playing coy. The Colts might not be a player for Lamar Jackson. The Colts have the number 4 overall draft slot, so they're probably looking at Levis. They probably very much want to consider Levis at this 4 overall pick. Colts could trade down, but I believe the Colts, after the 2023 NFL draft, when this pick is no longer in play, this pick has already been used. It's been used on a trade down for Jackson Smith and Jigba, whatever. If they don't draft a quarterback, we know that the Colts are potentially still in play for Lamar Jackson, regardless of what answers they give, regardless of this, regardless of that. Their answers didn't close the door, much like the Washington Commander answers closed the door at today's owner meeting. So I'm going to say that. But Colts owner did say he doesn't believe in fully guaranteed contracts. But Lamar's already said on other occasions, or been reported to say, that it's not about a fully guaranteed contract. It's about the right amount of guaranteed money. So there are a lot of people speaking for him that he wants only Deshaun Watson's deal, meaning he wants 100% fully guaranteed. I think the owners are going to stand firm. If people say the owners are colluding and locking arms, the one thing I'll say, they're not colluding or locking arms, in my opinion, on a grand scale to not sign Lamar Jackson. I believe they have meetings and discussions, and they are very much in agreement together. This is not the collusion part that everybody speaks of in terms of even speaking to Lamar or wanting Lamar. But I believe there's a general vibe that, hey, we need to make sure we don't put the memo out when we give Hurts and Burrow and Herbert, Lamar Jackson contracts, that fully guaranteed money is a thing, because it is not. Maybe a lot of guaranteed money is a thing, but we are not giving fully guaranteed. This is the meeting I'm pretending to execute. We're not giving fully guaranteed money across the board. So once we have 2 or 3 quarterbacks, Hurts, Burrow, who get a chunk of guaranteed money, we're talking $250 plus. We're talking Deshaun Watson guaranteed money, but not a fully guaranteed contract. Once we set the tone that fully guaranteed is no longer a thing through multiple big name contracts, Deshaun Watson's will be a blip. It'll be a blip on the radar, fully guaranteed. Remember that? Remember, let's play the boring game, the most boring game in history. Remember when? Remember when Deshaun Watson had his contract fully guaranteed? That's no longer going to be a problem once multiple players sign big guaranteed dollar contracts, but they won't be fully guaranteed. Lamar Jackson, hit that thumb up button on your way in the door. Colts owner said doesn't believe in fully guaranteed money. Doesn't mean he's not going after Lamar. People are going to read into that and say, oh, well, Lamar's only wanting fully guaranteed money. Not true. He wants a lot of guaranteed money. So Lamar Jackson, we'll have more on that situation later. But it's definitely one that one to watch. I'll also say this: Lamar Jackson to New England still very much in play, and Bill Belichick was asked the question, what about Lamar? What about Lamar? And instead of saying no, Mac Jones is the guy. What are you, crazy? Some kind of Bill Belichick answer that could have closed the door. Bill said, I don't talk about other teams' players, and moved on, which is what I would do. I would change the topic. I wouldn't necessarily lie, but I would definitely not answer a question about, I'm interested in going after Lamar. This was very, very interesting when Robert Kraft said that there was a text 3 or 4 days ago saying that Lamar Jackson wanted to come to New York. He was reading a text from Meek Mill that said that Lamar wanted to come to New England, and Kraft responded that it would be Bill Belichick's decision. Okay? Bill Belichick, we've been talking on this show for for about, I don't know, 2, 3, 4, whatever, 2, 3 weeks, maybe more, maybe less, about New England being one of the bigger players later on after the 2023 NFL draft, because we don't anticipate that this 14 overall pick right here is going to be up for grabs, right? So New England's not going to trade for Lamar. They're not going to trade for Lamar before the NFL draft so that they can utilize the draft capital in the 2023 draft, maybe grab a wide receiver like Jackson Smith and Jigba, Quentin Johnston, or Jordan Addison or Zay Flowers, or maybe they like Darnell Washington, the 6'7" tight end. But guess what happens? Guess what happens the moment we start talking about the draft being over? The New England Patriots, who are still going to have the same quarterback situation, it's not they're going to go fill that void and then miss out on the Lamar sweepstakes. They have Mac Jones, they have Zappy, and they're probably not ultra excited about the combo. And Bill Belichick, after the 2023 draft capital is spent, will, I believe, be a big player in the Lamar Jackson conversation. Whether he shoots it down real quickly or not is one thing. Whether he potentially figures out a way to go get this guy and pair him with the player he drafted in the first round of the 2023 NFL draft, I don't know. Here's the quarterback board in general of all the players that have landed everywhere. I do need to put Tua up here. I have Mike White because he did land there, but Tua's the starter, so I'll put Tua up there. But we've got the landing spots. Aaron Rodgers, the Jets. Ritter's going to stay in a Falcon for now, stay the main starting quarterback for the Falcons right now. We got Carr as a Saint. We got Jimmy G as a Raider. We got the Colts likely going rookie. We got the Bucks with Baker, potentially disappointment or touchdown maker. We're not sure, right? Packers going Jordan Love. Seahawks got their boy Geno back. Giants got their boy Danny Dimes back. Howell is getting the full treatment. Look, I like Howell a lot. I've said it before. If there's a sleeper quarterback hiding in all these quarterbacks in 2023, if there's a breakout quarterback, a sleeper, monster, sleeping giant, not to the tune of a top 4 quarterback, but like a top 10 hiding monster, it could potentially be Sam Howell. I'm just kidding. I've said this for some time. I truly believe Sam Howell's got a whole bunch of talent hiding in there, and everyone's just kind of discrediting him, discarding him, ignoring him, just acting like he's trash. He's pretty good. I think the upside, the ability, the nuts and bolts are there. Just got to put it all together, see if it holds together. We've got the Texans probably going rookie, obviously. The Panthers going rookie. The Ravens got Lamar now, but what's going to happen with that? And then how is that open up the doors? Tyler Huntley going to remain the quarterback? I'll put Tyler Huntley here if Lamar leaves. And the Patriots, right now, Mac Jones, obviously, Zappy, but I think maybe Lamar just jumps straight down here. That's the quarterback movement board. But this is a very, very interesting piece about Lamar Jackson from ownership. In regards Kraft talking about Lamar, and it's important to note that Bill Belichick's always liked Lamar Jackson. So anybody that doesn't smell something funny going on, you just don't like Lamar. You're just hating on the Lamar situation. You're not excited about Lamar for anything, so you're just not seeing straight. Trey Lance, this is a debacle. This poor kid. I will say let's start with the most recent news. 49ers head coach Kyle Shanahan did say Trey Lance has a chance to regain the team starting job with Brock Purdy recovering from elbow surgery. That was the only positive news we've had recently in terms of Trey Lance, because we had nothing but negative over the last day and a half. 49ers head coach Kyle Shanahan said Trey Lance and Sam Darnold will split first team reps. This is the worst news. This is the news that's a debacle. This is where I go on rants about Kyle Shanahan and say he's one of the worst quarterback decision makers we've seen in a long time. For the skill level he has as a scheme guy, he's a savant. Like, listen to what I'm saying before you keyboard warriors start saying he was coach of the year candidate. Are you out of your mind? Just listen to this guy. Niners were amazing because John Lynch executed a Stanford connection trade with Christian McCaffrey and brought him in, which we don't know or not know that Shanahan was even on board for. And so you've got this quarterback, this poor quarterback that played a Houston Texan Week 17 playoff implication game and won. Did amazing. Came into the 2022 season in a mud bowl in Chicago where no one would have delivered any kind of production. And he comes out of week 1. Everyone says he looks like trash. Well, he's playing in a big mud bowl. Okay, and that's his only game. Because the next game in in San Francisco, and Seattle brought the rain with him. So he had 2 weather games in a row. He suffered the season-ending injury in the game in like the 4th or 5th completion. So Trey's not looked bad on the field. Let's start there. He hasn't looked amazing on the field, but in the Houston Texan game, which was his really only opportunity to look like and be the starter, and then Shanahan ripped it away from him, took the keys out of his kung fu grip and said, I'm giving it back to Jimmy G. So if you're going to run your mouth about Trey Lance looking like a bust on the field, have your facts straight. Have your facts straight. You can say he hasn't proven it. Like Lee saying right here, dude has only played 1 game. That is an accurate, it's not an accurate statement. He's played more than 1 game. He played in, like I said, that Houston Texan game with playoff implications on the line. So Lee, you gotta amend your statement. However, he's played very few games. So if your argument is Trey hasn't proven anything yet, that's fine. That's an accurate statement. To say Trey's looked bad on the field, that is not accurate. Because he looked fantastic against the Houston Texans, won the game, Niners went to the playoffs, his coach ripped him from the lineup irresponsibly, and then he comes into Chicago where no one's playing well, Lee, not in a mud bowl. There's no way to do anything in that game. He broke his ankle/foot in the next game, 4 attempts or 4 completions in, or 3 completions in. There's no way to say he busted on the field, but there also is no way to say he's done amazing. You know, he's done well for the small window of time we've looked at. Even in the preseason game in 2021, he looked pretty decent in a preseason game, and you don't have a lot to go on. You don't. That's accurate. That's an accurate way to evaluate this process. But this guy, Kyle Shanahan, and the Niners decided to trade up and give up and mortgage the future and draft this kid higher than anybody could have ever imagined, and then decide to sabotage him, decide to not use him, decide to hold a competition between newly acquired garbage Sam Darnold. Like, this is one of the dumbest ways to support your potential week 1 starter. If you're even interested in starting him, apparently not. 49ers head coach Kyle Shanahan said Trey Lance and Sam Darnold will split first team reps this offseason. Dumbest way to approach this situation, and one of the very worst quarterback decision makers in the history of coaching in the last decade. If you go and look at coaches that are successful and have and are good at scheme and actually have a whole lot of talent, this guy's an absolute Shanahan wreck when it comes to quarterback decision making, dragging his feet with Jimmy G for years. Practically didn't give him a playbook. They almost locked him out of the facility. He couldn't even practice with the team. He had to run on the sideline. He gave a goodbye speech. The Niners said bye to him, and Shanahan keeps him through the 2022 season, which people said, oh, it looked like it was a great idea after all. It wasn't an idea. It fell into place because Shanahan botched it all. It wasn't Shanahan's plan to keep him. Shanahan botched the Jimmy G situation the entire offseason, like he botched the Deebo Samuel contract extension, which they could have just gave him early on, but had to do it the Niner way. Then what does Shanahan do? Doesn't use him. And Brock Purdy, look, Brock Purdy did well. And I even went into Niner live streams multiple times and said, you should bench Jimmy G when he was doing this great amount of, he looked great. He was doing so good, right? Before Christian McCaffrey, everyone thought he was going to be the savior or whatever. I said, bench him. Put in Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy will win you more games than Jimmy G will. I said that. I said that over and over and over. So I don't want to hear I don't like Brock Purdy. I like Brock Purdy. But Brock Purdy's being anointed the starter. Trey Lance has never got what Brock Purdy's what he's got. And I know he proved it on the field and he's won games and they're actually absolutely excited about him. But when you come out and you can't even support Trey Lance, listen to what I'm saying. You can't even support Trey Lance over Sam Darnold? You don't know what you're doing at the quarterback position. That's just plain simple facts. That's plain and simple. You could say, hey, I would also support Purdy, Smitty. I get that. But for you to say you're going to come out and not support him over Darnold, that's bad coaching. That's bad coaching. And on the Lamar topic again, or a couple degrees of separation from the Lamar topic, Justin Herbert is the contract extension negotiations are kicking into high gear. Is this Jalen Hurts? Jalen Hurts' contract extension kicking into high gear, and Joe Burrow as well. So we got a whole bunch of money that's going to be spent on the quarterback position that is going to change the landscape for Lamar Jackson. So this guy's going to get his deal. This guy's going to get his deal. And guess what? They're both going to get monstrous contracts. I would not be shocked if Joe Burrow and Jalen Hurts both got well above Deshaun Watson's fully guaranteed money. Their contracts won't be fully guaranteed, but you're going to see these two guys set the new bar for guaranteed money amount, and probably going to be north of 50 mil a year. Like Joe Burrow, if you think Joe Burrow is not getting $230 million guaranteed, you don't know Joe Burrow. You don't know him. People are getting burrowed left and right, and people are going to remember it.
Get burrowed.
If you don't think Jalen Hurts is going to get north of 50 mil or right around $49 to $52 million a season and above the 200, well above the 200, maybe 230 fully guaranteed amount of money, then you don't know Jalen Hurts.
The tripod, also likened to pyramids in ancient Egypt, are constructed using Burrow or Hurts, Chase or AJ.
So, landscape's going to be reset. Lamar Jackson's contract is going to be reset. And is a team really going to sit there and go, oh, we want to prove a point when what he's asking for is probably $200 million guaranteed dollars on whatever length of contract he wants. And these guys are going to come out and get it like that. They're just going to get it like that. Granted, I pay Hurts and Burrow more and faster and believe in those quarterbacks more than Lamar. I'm not trying to compare the amounts of money. I'm just saying that this, we don't want to give Lamar money, is what people are promoting across the league is going to change. The landscape is going to change. We got more news here. This one here. Oh yeah, here's this is a report too for anybody wondering about Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy, 3 months after healing, we should have a better idea of whether he's going to be 6 months away from throwing or 8 months. So that is through week 4, potentially week 5. And just because he can throw doesn't mean he'll be fully ready by week 4. But we're talking about maybe being ready for week 1, which would be a reckless display of protecting your quarterback, which is nothing new in San Francisco because they just throw their quarterbacks to the wolves, right? You want my honest truth? Lamar. You want to win a championship? Listen to the words coming out of my mouth, Niner fans, because I believe a lot of you are going to believe what I'm saying to be true. If you want 1 to 2, and I'm not saying 1, I'm saying 1 to 2, most likely 2 championships in the next 5 or 6 years. Two Super Bowl championships. 2 Super Bowl rings in the next 5 or 6 years. Go all in on Lamar after the NFL draft. Go all in on Lamar after the NFL draft. If you want to continue to play musical chairs at quarterback, by all means, have at it. The Niners have one of, if not the best team from top to bottom in the National Football League, and they continue to struggle at quarterback. And no, it's not dumb luck. It has very much to do with Kyle Shanahan. And if you want to disagree with that, call in. I don't care. Call in if you want to argue about it. But Kyle Shanahan is the problem when it comes to quarterbacks. He is. There's no debating it. Call in and try. So we don't know if it's 3 months or 3 months. We'll know if it's 6 months or 8 months. So a 3-month time frame between now and 3 months, we'll know nothing new. He's in what looks like a Terminator mobilization cast, and we'll know more later on. This piece of news by Matthew Stafford. are about Matthew Stafford. There's no limitations on Matthew walking into 2023. There's a lot of hate on Matthew Stafford, and I'm not saying I love him from a fantasy perspective or anything. There are so many amazing quarterbacks out there. You don't need to be flirting with a Stafford as your fantasy football starter. 2 QB leagues, different story. But this is good for Cooper Kupp, and I think people writing off Cooper Kupp thinking he won't have consistent quarterback play, I think you're not giving enough credit to Matthew Stafford. However, there is some risk and concern. I get that. Oh, surprise, surprise. Michael Thomas is not 100%. I don't know what it is about people that want to believe in Michael Thomas. God bless him. God bless him. Let's send him to the moon.
To the moon.
You deserve it. But if you believe in this guy, if you believe in this guy, Michael Thomas, and you bank on him in any way, shape, or form,
take a 2-mile lap, Smitty disapproves of that. Dumb way to draft or trade.
There's absolutely no reason to believe in Mike Thomas on any sort of level in 2023 unless it's your bench wide receiver. One of your bench wide receivers that you're just thinking about maybe becomes valuable later. If you draft this guy to be your wide receiver 3, you love punishment. You love punishment. You absolutely love punishment. You're admitting to people that you like punishment. There's no reason to believe in this guy that he's going to stay healthy. Now, do I think he's an added bonus and gravy if, let's say, something goes well even for half a season for him? Sure. Like, I want Derek Carr to have another weapon, but Shaheed's the real number 2 wide receiver. I've had people say Michael Thomas is the number 1 wide receiver. I have no idea what people are even talking about. It's Olave season. Olave's a moon man, for goodness sake.
The moon man. Dropping loads in outer space.
Olave could have a better season than Garrett Wilson. Let me just say that.
Space Monsters.
Olave could be every bit as good as or better than Garrett Wilson. We're talking about Garrett Wilson and Olave changing of the guard being potentially both top 6 wide receivers, maybe even both top 5 wide receivers. And you can smirk all you want and say Olave, blah, blah, Derek Carr's no good. Just buckle up. Get your popcorn ready. Get it all buttered up. And Olave's coming for you. Olave's going to look fantastic. So Mike Thomas who? Mike Thomas who? Shaheed's better than Mike Thomas right now at this stage in Mike Thomas's career. He was slant boy. He was good at one thing anyway. Like, he did it very well. Did it very well, but Shaheed's better. Shaheed's better. At this point in Mike Thomas's career, Mike Thomas, the best ability is availability, and Mike Thomas has none of it. He has none of it. Ezekiel Elliott, look, what did I tell you all? What did I tell you all when Zeke Elliott came out with this? I've narrowed down my teams. Hold on. I called this. I called this. I have an announcement to make. This is Zeke Elliott. I have narrowed down. Hold on. Let me change this so it says Zeke Elliott. Zeke. There we go. I have an announcement to make. This is Ezekiel Elliott. I've narrowed down the 3 teams that I will play for. Not like, will play for. And he worded it like that. He didn't word it like, oh, these are the teams I want to talk to. I narrowed down my 3 teams. I decided I'm going to play, not even cut yet. Even though everybody, you look at the graphic here. And the graphic even has no team attached to Zeke Elliott. He does have a team. He's not officially cut. This is Zeke Elliott again. I've narrowed down my teams. I'm playing for the Chiefs, the Eagles. Who else is contending? Who am I ring chasing? The Bengals. And who else do you say? The Bills? I don't know. They're all the best teams. The 4 best teams most likely to get a ring. I've gone ahead and nailed it down to those teams. And I'm playing for those teams. And that's it. I'll see you all later. Thank you for being here. What did everybody do? Everyone just ran with it. There were reports everywhere. Zeke Elliott's going to be playing for one of the... What did I say? How is this possible, is what I said. How is this possible? How do all these teams just happen to believe in Zeke Elliott? How do all these teams already have an agreement with him to where he just has to pick? He just said, I've narrowed my decision down to these 4 teams. Like he's just going to pick. Like the contract's already there ironically, for all these teams. And then what does, what was it, the Eagles? I think it was the Eagles that came out and said, we have not made any kind of statement or any kind of indication that we are going after Zeke Elliott. These teams have no idea. He's lost his mind. He's lost his mind. He thinks he's going to play for these teams. No, these teams don't even know about him. They probably don't even know who he is anymore. Zeke Elliott, could he be well in, let's say, a Bengal uniform? Sure. Could he do okay in an Eagle uniform or a Bill uniform? Could he get 8 touchdowns and 500 yards and be some kind of awkwardly decent running back, flex option? Yeah. Buffalo could feed him 7 or 8 touchdowns. Eagles could feed him. Look, Boston Scott can score multiple touchdowns in a football game in that Eagles offense. Boston Scott did. So if you think Zeke can't walk into the end zone 2 times 3 games in a row and have literally 3 good games and 6 touchdowns and 3, it's possible. If he went to one of these amazing, dynamic, potent offenses. But Zeke Elliott is a shell of himself. These teams aren't knocking down the door of Zeke Elliott. And Bengals coach Zach Taylor, asked about the interest in adding Ezekiel Elliott, said there's a lot of great players out there that are always available. This guy, I don't understand. I don't understand what people think is going to happen here. This is my boy Raj and his post. I want to give him a little prop here. Kyle Shanahan expects Trey Lance and Sam Darnold to both take first team reps. This is awful news. I don't know what those comments look like, but I'm sure they're not great. Twitter blows up in the negative way against the Niner fan base blows up. The Twitter Niner fan base is a little bit more, I think, okay with whatever happens, and they just support the team. You call it more supportive, not a negative way, but Instagram's a little more supportive. Twitter, they get so mad, they voice their opinion, and I can tell you right now that there's probably more anger on Twitter about the Sam Darnold Trey Lance comment by Shanahan than there is positivity. I can tell you that for a fact on Twitter. The race between Jalen Hurts, here's that other piece of information. The race between Justin Herbert, Jalen Hurts, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson is on. Who's getting the big contract? The Chargers and QB Justin Herbert have opened up contract negotiations, and it's going to reset everything. Good luck getting a guy in a cheap way. Here's what the owners. Quarterbacks are going to cost through the roof. The value is going to go up tremendously. And anybody that thinks Lamar Jackson's asking for too much now, just wait, because he's going to ask for a whole lot more. He probably won't get it because his expectation's crazy. But Hurts, Burrow, and Herbert are going to reset the market in a way that's going to rock expectations at the quarterback position for teams. So Lamar Jackson is going to be a steal. Let's say you get him for $145 million, fully guaranteed 3 years. Let's say you revisit the deal that he was offered and he stupidly turned down. 3 years, fully guaranteed, $133 million, $175 if he gets injured. That was the best contract Lamar could have ever seen, given his desire to play on a short deal, and he's made that clear before. And then bank another big deal. He would have been so rich. And I know it's not all about money, but I'm saying if he's wanting the best deal financially, 133 on 3 years when they would have re-upped after 2 would have set him up in a way that no other quarterback could be set up. Because guess what? The cap goes up about 20% every 2 years. So if they re-up Lamar heading into his 3rd year of the 133 3-year deal, fully guaranteed, he's going to make bank. He's going to make bank. He gets to re-up after a 20% increase in the cap. Lamar's foolish. Not having an agent is foolish. I don't care what anybody says. Call in. Lamar Jackson's foolish for not having an agent. The NFL owners met today, and here's some of the stuff they discussed. They shot down. Oh, first of all, you can wear number 0. You can wear number 0 now. That's going to be interesting. Calvin Ridley's already decided he's wearing number 0. I don't know if there are any other players that might potentially decide to wear number 0. I imagine, I'm not going to go there. You guys know where I was going with that. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to be a nice guy today. I want to be a nice guy. Number 0 is up for grabs if anybody wants to wear it. It's a cool number, though. It's a cool number. There'll be a lot of jokes about it, though. There are going to be a lot of memes incoming memes loading right now about 0. Who's wearing number 0? Well, there's a lot of candidates for number 0. Oh, I'll leave it alone. They also shot down the whole roughing the passer replay thing. So there's not a whole lot that went on at this owners meeting. It was more so finding out information about this and that and all these conversations about Lamar and Aaron Rodgers and quarterbacks and everything we just went over. Everything we just went over. The Brock Purdy, the Trey Lance situation, all that. Phone lines are open, dial.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
This message is from Kevin. If you want to be an Instagram voice message leaver on the daily, leave me daily voice messages that I'll play on this show, and I'll even hold down the record button with my answer so you don't have to hunt through the live stream, but you'll also hear it on the live stream, so you get both. Here we go, Kevin.
Smitty, what you think about the Irv Smith signing today for the Cincinnati Bengals? Could this mean that Cincinnati might be looking for a running back if they feel good enough with Irv Smith and he's healthy?
Potentially. I mean, you look at the NFL draft, and it's a decent signing. It's nothing crazy. I've never loved Irv Smith, but you look at the Bengals at number 28 overall. Now you know that they're not potentially looking at a tight end, or maybe they are. I think Darnell Washington you don't pass on if you see him sitting there anyway. But yeah, maybe they go Jahmyr Gibbs, maybe they go Charbonnet, maybe they wait until the second round to grab a Bigsby. I think Mixon's very much on the hot seat to get released. And I know a lot of people disagree with that, but you can disagree with it all you want. It's a fact that they're strongly considering releasing him. And you could say, oh, Mixon's got such a bad rap. All the charges were dropped. Like, it's not just about that. Like, some of it might be. We don't know behind closed doors how they feel about Mixon and the whole situation before that when he was brandishing a weapon and all that. That was a whole, those charges got dropped, but that was legit. That situation was legit. The house being taped off the next week or whatever it was the next week, a couple weeks later, a week later, he was proven not to be there, I suppose. But it's still a situation regardless of any of that where his mileage is crazy, his drop off is real, and they want to potentially move on with a younger running back. They might bring in said younger running back and keep Mixon. Maybe they restructure him. I don't know. Pay cut. I don't know. But Mixon's certainly on the hot seat. So I would say I didn't hold down the button. I said I would. Kevin, I'm sorry. Kevin, you can listen to my whole explanation 41 minutes into the show. I started answering your question. But I'll say in general, I think the Bengals are going potentially at 28 overall looking at running backs, and they may try and grab another running back later. Mixon's definitely on the hot seat to get released. Go check it out. Denny, live on the Fantasy Football Show.
Smitty, how you doing, buddy?
What's up, Denny? Long time no talk.
Lamar's gonna get a better. He's gonna get a better contract.
Lamar better contract? Well, I mean,
he's gonna get himself a better offer.
Where is he going, Denny?
I don't know. Colts, Redskins.
The Commanders said they're out.
Atlanta.
Commanders said they're out. However, the Commanders are getting acquired. Denny, I'm gonna say behave. Last time you were on here, I don't know if you remember, but you were a little wild. So just keep it as clean as you can, okay, pal?
All right, I'll do that. I apologize.
Yeah, you probably don't remember it, but it was a wild night. Everybody loves you though, Denny, and they're glad you're back. The chat's gonna blow up.
I love everybody.
They're gonna say
everybody.
Denny's back. Denny's back.
I heard Bruce sleeping the other day, and I was laughing. I don't know if did they get a hold of Brucey?
Yeah, I got a hold of Brucey. He's good. Brucey's good. I have not heard from Isaac yet, though. Isaac, if you're in the chat, please let me know. Isaac fell asleep on the show. I don't know. Like I said, Denny, you can answer this question for me. Is it that my show's so boring that we've had 3 people fall asleep on the phone line before, or is it because I'm tucking people in at night doing a good deed?
It's not the boring part. It's because you got a little bit of everybody out there. You got some people that just everybody loves the show, but you got some people that are tired. Some people, some people are crazy. Who knows?
Yeah, I think ultimately I'm doing a good deed. I think this is a soothing show. People listen to us when they go to bed. We put people to sleep because I tuck people in at night. Smitty tucks you in at night. That's one of the slogans of the show going forward.
Hold me in the darkness.
Yes. So I will say I believe Lamar will get offers after the NFL draft because, like I've said 1,000 times over, I think these teams that are interested with these high draft picks right here, They don't want to surrender these top 10, top 14 overall picks. New England, as an example, doesn't want to surrender that number 14 overall. Why would New England want to give up the 14 overall when they can just wait a month, a little over a month?
I'm a Pats fan.
And then trade a 24, 25 future first rounders for Lamar and use the 14 overall pick. So interest will start to pick up, but bro, some of this is on Lamar. Not having an agent is a dumb move. It's a dumb move.
Hey, I'll go with you. I mean, obviously, you know what you're talking about, but I think even you and I, or Bruce or Isaac, could still get a better offer.
Yeah, I think Isaac asleep, Bruce asleep could definitely get they could work a better deal than this partner he's got that's trying to negotiate for him reportedly. I still have
faith in Mac Jones. I still have faith I have one more year of faith in Mac Jones with the new system. I don't know if Juju Smith's going to make a big difference.
I think
somebody else in there.
I think Bill Belichick's got the cojones to go after Lamar Jackson. And you saw my report here. I don't know if I have it. Man, I don't know where I put it. Is it right here? Oh man, where is that? There's a report I have here where Kraft said that it's up to Bill Belichick. And so
I saw that.
I
know exactly. I saw the quote.
Kraft is game for Lamar.
That was because of Meek Mills, because Meek Mills is Kraft's boy,
right?
And he's the one that put out that because he's friends with Lamar.
Hey, if Mills wants him, then Kraft wants him. That's the way broskies work. And so this guy Kraft is already approved a Lamar Jackson's acquisition or offer sheet situation, and all Bill Belichick has to do is pick up the phone and think about it, Denny. Think about it. If you're Bill Belichick, Denny, if you're Bill Belichick, why on earth do you want anybody to know that after the NFL draft you're going after Lamar Jackson? You're going to be as coy as can be.
No, he doesn't play that. He plays his cards tight to his chest.
Yeah, what's he going to do? Oh, look, we're definitely interested. We're going to take a look at it. Just so anybody out there watching right now, go ahead and jump in and compete with us for Lamar Jackson. Anybody interested in Lamar, whether it's the Colts playing coy, whether it's the Falcons playing really coy about we can't offend Ritter, all this stuff you've heard about that. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen. Look at the disrespect that Trey Lance is getting from his organization. You think teams are scared of making Ritter mad?
How do you feel about why is that? What is that? A personal thing between him and coach or what?
I don't understand why Trey Lance is completely just discarded. You spent so much draft capital on him. It's ridiculous, Denny. It's ridiculous.
And here I am.
Poor Trey Lance. Trade him.
I picked up Brock for a song and a dance in 2 dynasty leagues. So I'm biased, but it still doesn't. Looking at it, outside of my team, which would be great to just say, okay, now he's a starter. You know what I mean? Because I got Wentz who's going to be gone. I got guys that are on their way out.
Look, Denny, let me make this abundantly clear now. I don't disagree with liking Purdy over Trey. I don't. If that's the argument, I'm fine with that. Look, Purdy proved himself. He proved himself. What are you going to say?
Right.
But when you have Purdy probably not ready for week 4, and you come out and say things like Purdy's earned the start, like just leave that quiet. Leave that quiet. Let Trey Lance get his best shot together and go after this thing so you can win. And why on earth do you say that Trey's taking first-team reps with Darnold? Like, I get it. You could support Purdy because Purdy won 8 games, looked amazing. I get it. But why can't you support Trey at least over Darnold? Why can't you at least support him over Darnold? What is your problem with this kid? And if you have a problem with it, and you clearly do, Shanahan, send him packing. And you know what? There's also that news too. We haven't touched on it on this show, but we did on another. When Kyle Shanahan or when John Lynch was asked about whether the team would be open to trading Trey Lance, he said, "We'll always listen to offers." What happened when they were asked about would you trade? What are these rumors about Ayuk being traded? Oh, we're not trading Ayuk. Okay, so let me get this straight.
So if he had his back,
read between the lines. Read between the lines. We won't trade Ayuk. Oh, heck no. No, we're not trading Ayuk. Are you out of your mind? What about Trey Lance? We'll listen to anything. We want to keep Trey Lance. He's a good buddy, good pal.
It's not healthy.
Good buddy, pal.
It's not healthy. It's not healthy for the team.
No.
It's not, no matter what. Otherwise, unless you have something lined up already in trance, Lance knows about it. I don't know. The same thing happened with the Pats, kind of. Remember that whole Zappy thing with the Pats and he went out. Mac went out and he had a couple of bad sets.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah,
set, and he benched him in front of everybody. And that was a huge statement right there. That's bad. It's kind of on the same line, I think.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'll give you that because Mac Jones was same draft class, drafted, high. I get it, but at least Trey Lance is competing with Darnold, and I'll go as far as to say this, this is a win a league. This is a potential, I would say, salvaging move, and I know a lot of people are gonna not agree with this, and I don't really care. Like I care about what my people think, my good people. But I mean, if there's haters that are gonna drop, whatever, I could care less. This is how I feel. I've been doing this for 20 years. Am I right all the time? No.
I'm calling to get your opinion. That's why we want your opinion.
Listen to this. If I'm the Niners, I trade away Trey Lance. I get you could get some sort of first round pick, whether it's a 2024 first rounder, whatever. Could you get a late 2023 first rounder? I bet you could. You could even get a conditional turns into a first rounder if he starts so many games or whatever. Okay, if you're not gonna use him, I get it. But if you're not gonna use him anyway, what do you do then? What do you do if you don't have Trey Lance? Why not trade away? Why would you not trade away Trey Lance? Because you're worried about Brock Purdy. Okay, but you're already saying you might want to start Darnold. You know what I would do if I was the Niners? I'd bring in Cam Newton and Darnold to back up Brock Purdy. And I know everyone's going to say Cam Newton. I know everyone's going to say Cam Newton's washed. But just close your eyes for a minute. Picture Cam Newton doing what Jimmy G did. Okay, you're throwing a very short pass, design runs to Deebo Samuel. You're running in 5 and 7 yard untouched touchdown runs. You're throwing the ball very short. And I'm not saying he's the starter. I'm saying he's your Trey Lance replacement because you're so inept about what your quarterback room really looks like. You're leaning toward Darnold anyway. I just think that if Cam Newton, let me ask you a question. If Cam Newton had to start 2 games for the Niners and just facilitate with the defense leading the way, having all those offensive weapons, do you really think Cam Newton could win 2 or 3 games if he got shoved into that Niner?
I've seen him do some pretty bad stuff. I don't know. I mean, I've seen he could probably, honestly, just between him running the ball and throwing screen passes, I don't know. I would hope that he can maintain it. They still got Kittle too, right? So
I think people are underestimating what underestimating what a quarterback with his skill set to run the ball and to facilitate very short, passes could do in a Niners system. I think everybody's forgetting that if you put him in the Niners system, it's going to be different than if you put him anywhere else. And his ability to run the ball with that offense, hand the ball off to Christian McCaffrey, and just be a presence, be a big presence, be a potential goal line threat. This guy could score 12 touchdowns on 8 or 10 games in a Niners uniform if he had to play.
So
what was the alternative? What's the alternative?
Do you not like Purdy? You don't like Purdy then? I mean, I'm
just
asking.
Denny, you weren't listening to what I said. This is the problem.
I was.
No offense, but this is the problem when I bring up Cam Newton. People run their mouth, not you, Denny, specifically, but people run their mouth about how I'm saying that Cam should be the starter. I'm not saying Cam should be the starter. I'm saying if Trey's not your starter and Trey's competing for the backup job and Brock Purdy's not able to come into the lineup yet, you shove Cam Newton out there for 2-3 games. That's why I asked you, do you think you could win 2 or 3 games with Cam Newton? That's why I asked. This has nothing to do with Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy's the starter. Brock Purdy's the future. The team's already made that abundantly clear. So why hold on to Trey Lance?
I didn't know that he wasn't going to be ready. I mean, I thought it was just some random scenario. I didn't know that you were saying Brock wasn't going to be ready for week 1.
Denny, if Trey Lance gets you a first rounder, and you're not going to use Trey Lance anyway, you're very clear about that. I'm talking about Shanahan. Why would you not want Cam Newton and Darnold versus Trey and Darnold when you're going to sabotage Trey anyway and you get a first rounder? You turn that into an offensive lineman. You turn that into an
get whatever you can for Trey Lance. Absolutely. And throw in with the great offense like that. Throw in anybody.
I just wish people would hear me when I say it. When I say Cam Newton, all they hear is Smitty thinks Cam Newton's better than Purdy, just like you did. And I understand why your mind goes there. People aren't patient. They don't hear the whole topic. They don't hear what I'm saying. I'm not saying Cam Newton's starting multiple games. I'm saying this is your Josh Johnson. What if you would have had Cam Newton instead of Josh Johnson? Do you think Cam Newton wouldn't have won that game? I mean, let's be real. Let's be real. If Cam Newton was under center instead of Josh Johnson, the Niners would have won. The Niners would have went to the Super Bowl.
Cam Newton and Josh Johnson. Yeah, absolutely. And whatever. I didn't even remember his name, but he was completely useless. He was absolutely useless.
Yeah. And Jay Claus says no one's given a first rounder for Trey Lance. It could be a conditional first rounder or a future first. I agree, probably not a first rounder in this draft, but
future first.
It could be a future
first. I don't hate
first.
Trey Lance. I still give Trey Lance I still give him a chance in the league somewhere. But get something for him. Get what you can. Future first rounder. All right.
What else you got, Denny?
One thing.
Denny, I'm glad you called.
Hey, it's good talking to you. Thanks. It's a great show. I'm glad. I apologize. I get,
we move on.
I hit the shaft a little hard. But
we move on. Don't worry about it.
I appreciate it. I liked when you were talking about Zeke, and Zeke just saying how he's just ready to go with those 4 teams. But there was one other little side story to that was funny, and I think. Why do I want to say? Somebody could correct me here, but did he say the Jets and then Breece Hall tweeted "We good over here"? Somebody said "We good over here," it's funny. It'll come up. It was against.
What's he talking about?
It was about the Zeke naming the 4 teams like he was they were there for him to.
Yeah. Zeke Elliott.
And then I swear, I think one of them said, "Oh man, was it Freeze? Because he doesn't seem like that type of guy." Or was it? Anyway, one of the backs to the team, the head running back said, "We good over here."
Hey, Denny, I'm gonna play something for you. Are you watching the show or no?
Yeah, I'm watching it, but I turned it down.
Okay, well, just you don't have to turn it up. I don't want the feedback, but. Mitch wants to let you know about some breaking news, and I'm going to hit a button to explain it. There's a report out that Breece Hall's 8 feet tall.
Breece Hall is 8 foot tall. He will always answer the mother freaking call. Don't let him fall. In the third, don't stall. Just give Batman the freaking football.
He's Breece. He's Breece.
He does a whole of a job. A whole of a job. A whole of a job.
Breece Hall, please report to the moon.
He does a hell of a job.
Just let everybody know, regardless of the instructions that Denny was given, he talked the entire time through that, which is fine, Denny. We expect nothing less from you. We appreciate you, Denny. Don't change for anybody.
I'm sorry. Stay golden, pony boy.
All right, Denny, appreciate you. Call back in anytime. You got something else you want to add, dial right back in. I'm here for a little while.
All right, brother. Good talking to you.
Later.
Take care, everybody.
Later.
Good to be back in. Bye.
I admit I didn't answer his call for a while. He went a little rogue on one of the live streams. Denny, I'm going to press a button. You going to watch it? Okay, here you go. Whole time he's like, "Oh, there's Breece Hall. I don't know, Smitty." All right. Let's get another phone call here. Brian, what's up? Appreciate you. J. Claus, hope he comes back playing as well as he was. I believe he will. Brees Hall is 8 feet tall. There's reason to believe that he'll answer the call. Give Batman the ball. I think we covered a lot of news. Denny, there's a lot of people listening. It's hard to tell if you're joking. Denny's hard to joke. It's hard to tell if he's joking or serious. I agree.
Get breached.
Let's take 3 more callers. Let's get a little panel going, and then we'll jump off probably in about 10-15 minutes. So jump on a panel call. Let's go. Dial in. How high do you take Bijan in a standard draft? What's your top 7 in standard scoring? Top 7, I mean, this depends, bro, on scoring and, lineup. I mean, lineup requirements is a 3, wide receivers is a 2. But Bijan I would take him at 6 if I had to. I would try not to. Obviously, you don't want to take him any higher than you need to. But I absolutely would take him at 6. I've done it, and I'm not apologetic of it. But you got to understand the context of that. Ron, try him one more time. I don't know why it's not letting me answer with this caller on here. You're live on the Fantasy Football Show.
Hey, what's going on, Smitty?
What's up? Who is this?
It's Patrick from Ohio.
Patrick.
I'm in the chat as the Patrick Oz 1.
All right, the Patrick. What's up, the Patrick?
This is my first time being able to catch you live, but I spent like hours today watching a whole bunch of your videos, getting ready for fantasy coming up. I want to rapid fire a couple points. I don't think Lamar is going anywhere. I think he's going to stay there in Baltimore. I think eventually there's going to be a coming to Jesus moment.
Yeah. Hey, Patrick, call back in 1 second. For some reason, it's not letting me answer everybody else's call with your line, your phone call. So hold on. When you hear me get, I want everybody else to dial in real quick again. I had, what's his name? From Massachusetts call in, my boy. Ron tried dialing in again. I think Mario tried dialing in. Once we get a couple people on, Patrick, try dialing in again, okay? I just need to, for some reason, I'm having problems with your line. But as soon as you hear people on the line, call right back in. But please call back in.
All right.
All right. So dial in again, Steven and Ron and Mario. I missed your calls. I was trying to answer it. Just sometimes when I've got a certain person's phone line connected, it doesn't let me patch in other people. It's weird. What's up, Smitty? Dynasty, Christian Watson or Brandon Ayuk? Easiest question I've been asked in probably a month, bro. Christian Watson by a mile. I'm not saying Ayuk doesn't have talent. That's the easy call for me. I think Watson's going to the moon. Mario, try dialing in. Steven from Massachusetts and Ron Navy, you're on the line. Let's start with Steven. Steven, what do you got for me?
Hey, Smitty, what's going on?
What's up, pal?
Just wanted to talk to you because I don't know if you heard there. Because I know you were just talking about the 49ers earlier. I didn't know if you heard. This was Pro Football Talks. Michael Florio and Chris Sims. There's actually a video out of this that they're talking about the whole Trey Lance stuff. And one of the names that they brought up is that I guess the 49ers might actually be interested in Kirk Cousins because he restructured. I believe he restructured his contract. And they might look into possibly trading for Kirk Cousins. I wanted to get your thoughts on that.
So I'll say that I don't know that it's a likely situation. Mario, appreciate you calling back. Hang tight there, Mario. I'll get to you in 1 second. And the Patrick, dial in again, pal. I think we're ready to add you. I think it's not a likely situation because of the way the Vikings have answered the question before, based on what would the Vikings do. Are you talking about Trey Lance? They're not going to want to go into an unknown situation when they've got a quarterback and an offense that's totally, whether they drop the ball in the playoffs or not, they're vibing. They've got this vibe. They're high octane. You don't know if Trey can maintain that. I'm not saying Trey can't, but you know what you've got right now in Cousins, and you know what's going on with that situation. So I think it makes 0% sense. But I will say that I would say that. So it's just a bunch of talk, just a bunch of just trying to create buzz. But I will say that Shanahan has had a love for Kirk Cousins, though, from the beginning of time.
Yeah.
And so that's his favorite quarterback in the National Football League. If you could give, this is why Kirk, no offense, Ron, on this, earmuffs, Ron, this is not a knock on Kirk Cousins per se. But if you could give Kyle Shanahan his choice of any quarterback in the National Football League, he would bypass Jalen Hurts. He probably wouldn't bypass Mahomes out of pressure, but he bypassed almost every other quarterback and attacked Kirk Cousins. That's his favorite quarterback in the National Football League. And not to say he doesn't have good taste in Kirk Cousins in that respect, but like he's a good quarterback. He's done well, but like he knows the quarterback position. He doesn't know the quarterback position. He passed on Patrick Mahomes. The way he's botched every quarterback decision he's had to make. He's not good with making personnel decisions around the quarterback. He passed on Tom Brady. He passed on Patrick Mahomes. It ended up being a good thing, but Deshaun Watson. But talent-wise, he shouldn't have passed on Deshaun Watson. This is a guy that doesn't know quarterback talent for the life of him, or when to deploy it. So that's not a knock on Kirk Cousins. It's just saying that he's been infatuated with Kirk Cousins as the number one quarterback in the National Football League. So the Vikings aren't going to do it, though. There's just no way that makes any sort of sense for their offense.
I guess like that's why like you talked about just now that Kyle Shanahan loves Kirk Cousins. They said that's why they thought it was like a possibility. Because I mean, I don't know if like how well connect. Like I know Michael Florio. He does have like some good like NFL sources. I mean, because he does cover the league, and I don't know if he was hearing from like the NFL owners meetings or anything. If those guys like heard like people talking about it, but like I guess like that what they're saying is that they heard from like the 49ers camp that they were looking into Kirk Cousins, and I guess like that would. So saying like what you said is that they would trade Trey Lance for possibly Kirk Cousins.
I don't think they want Trey Lance, but here's like a scenario. If you said, hey, force a scenario on me, Smitty, come up with something, then I would probably say that it would be, let's say you get rid of Kirk Cousins and you bring in Lamar Jackson, but Lamar doesn't even fit the offense. But I'm just saying, if you wanted me to force a way to get into a good quarterback, I'm not saying Trey can't be a good quarterback, but you would have zero desire to replace a proven commodity to the tune that Kirk Cousins is playing at right now, whether you love him for the future or not. The only option would be to go for a quarterback like Lamar and not like a Trey. You'd just be taking such a big step backwards when you, in your mind, you think you can win the division, and the Vikings could arguably win the division. Like, you have a competitive team. This is similar to the Titans, though. So let's not act like it's not possible that teams do bad things. The Titans got rid of A.J. Brown when they were just the division winner. They still had a team that could potentially make a pretty deep playoff run, and they got rid of A.J. Brown in the middle of it and just completely dismantled all their momentum and ability to do anything. So is it possible? I mean, bro, anything can happen. I didn't think Tyreek Hill would get traded. I didn't think Adams would necessarily get traded. There's a lot of things that happened in the past that we didn't see coming. So, if they've got some plan of attack and they love Lamar Jackson in a way we aren't really thinking about, is it possible? Sure. But is it for Trey Lance? I highly doubt you're going to take that gamble as a Minnesota Viking club. There's just no way on that.
I got frozen. God, like I said, I mean, I know those are those guys. They did bring that up, so that's why I just figured I'd just bring it up to the table because I mean I know that like sometimes like Roto World.
Hold on, Steven. Who's talking in the background? I got someone talking in the background. Why is that the 315 caller? You got Steven's trying to make a point, and he's hearing about some grocery order. Let's go to the 315 caller real quick. Who am I talking to? Well, since you're there.
I'm Smitty. I'm terribly sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
I had my phone on speaker, and then my wife opened up our slider and asked me
bro,
what I want for supper.
I'm just playing with you. I honestly don't care. It's funny. What's your name, bro?
My name's Bill Hickok.
Bill. What's up, Bill? Bill, we appreciate you. Bill, don't apologize for being Bill. You just be who you are. If you're the guy that calls up and your wife's talking in the background and you're ordering food, that's you. Bill, what can we do for you, Bill?
No, I just want to call and be like, you've been like spot on. I'm kind of Smitty biased now. I just really am. I just
appreciate that, Bill.
I've been doing all these best ball drafts and I've been having an absolute ball with this and have learned so much.
Appreciate you, Bill. Bill, what do you think about Lamar? Where's he going?
Lamar, I see that I couldn't agree more with about the whole he needs an agent thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like that's like walking into a courtroom. You did something really wrong, and you need a good defense lawyer. Or you need a lawyer. You need representation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just you need representation.
It's like even better is the doctor example. Like, I could understand someone wanting to represent themselves in court on a small thing that would cost them tons of money, like that. That I understand. So I kind of understand a player with a small contract that doesn't need to navigate rough waters, treacherous waters, trying to represent themselves. Like, that makes sense. Hey, this guy needs to save a buck. He can't get an agent, or there goes a bunch of his money.
Yeah.
But like Lamar's dealing with one of the biggest contracts and situations we've seen in a long time, especially with this non-exclusive tag. This is waters we haven't seen navigated really in any kind of recent memory whatsoever. So when he got slapped with the non-exclusive tag, it was so unusual and out of the norm that we didn't even know how to predict the reactions. And the reactions have been nothing like even I expected. I admit I've been wrong. I thought he'd have 2, 3, 4 offers. I thought non-exclusive tag meant he would be gone, lickety split. But we haven't seen this with a quarterback happen in so long that now all of a sudden he has. We don't even know. We don't even know if it's just going to happen at all, let alone before the NFL draft. By the way, Bill, you were coined Wild Bill, so your new nickname's Wild Bill. Wild Bill, hold on one second.
Wild Bill, that's what I go by that on best ball. I'm Wild Bill.
Ron Navy, you're up. Hold on. Hang right there, Bill. Hang right there.
Yeah, I'm going to take my phone off speaker so I don't.
Well, if it's interesting, put it on speaker. But, okay, hang tight real quickly. Ron Navy.
Hey, Smitty.
What's up?
I woke up to hear Denny.
Yeah.
I was dead sleeping. And I hear Denny's voice, and I wake up, and there's Denny on the show. I'm like, oh.
I answered to see if he's behaved. He seemed pretty behaved, so we went ahead and went with it.
That's crazy. Hadn't heard Denny in a long time.
What do you got today, Ron?
That's about it. I don't have nothing because I missed most of the show. So
okay,
recap.
Well, you can chime in when you hear something. Mario, you're live.
Later.
No, Ron, stay there. Stay there on the panel there. You still there, Ron?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Chime in whenever you have something you want to input or add input with. Mario, what do you got? What do you got for Ron and me? What do you got for Ron, me, Steven, Wild Bill?
Wow. Funny enough, I'm in the same situation.
Hello? Mario?
Hello?
Please hold for Smitty. Please state your name.
Muted Mario.
Muted Mario. Mario, what can we do for you, Muted Mario?
Yeah, my bad. I'm driving, and I thought I hit the unmute button. And
be safe.
I fumbled the bag.
Be safe, Muted Mario. Be safe. What can we do for you?
I forgot why I called. Funny enough, just like the same situation as Ron. As soon as I tuned into the show, I heard Denny, and I was like, we let Denny back in the house now, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
I wasn't sure.
Nice off to a good start.
I wasn't sure. I got a Denny theme song. Hang tight, guys. Let me hit it. He's Denny.
Oh, here we go.
Denny. He's Denny. Okay. Mario, if you want to chime in whenever you got some. Steven, I know, Mario, you said you forgot about what you want to talk about. Just chime in if you guys want anything. Ron, interrupt. Mario, interrupt. Steven, what else you got?
I just wanted to know if you file like anybody's like mock drafts, because I guess that guy Mike Tannenbaum, who basically got fired. I mean, I don't really trust. He said that Hayden Hooker could possibly go in his mock draft. He has Hayden Hooker going all the way up to like 5 to the Seahawks and backing up like Geno Smith.
I'll say this: he's coming off an ACL tear. There's a lot of reasons to be worried about Hendon Hooker, but I do think Hooker's got a lot of potential. We put him in the we put him in the episode 5 of the Fantasy Football Intern for a reason, because A, it's a funny name. B, he is a very, very kind of unique and kind of underdog QB 4-5, of this draft class. But he's going to need some time. I think Geno Smith in that situation, that would be a good situation for him because he could, he wouldn't need to be used for a while. But I don't know that you would do that if you just signed Geno. It's kind of like when Aaron Rodgers, when you drafted Jordan Love, it was like spitting all over Aaron Rodgers. I think it would be one thing to take Hooker like in the second round, because of the ACL tear, maybe he falls. I think that's a really, really aggressive ranking to have him in the top 5 or 6. I think that's overly aggressive. Could he climb into like the 15 to 18 range, maybe even 10 to 12? I certainly think it's possible. And if he didn't tear his ACL, he might be arguably the second or the third or fourth best quarterback in this draft class. But it is what it is at this point, and I don't know that it'd be smart for Seattle to take him. I think that's too high a draft capital, man. 5 overall. What do you?
I don't really trust him. So.
No, I know.
Number one, he had Bryce Young, and then I remember he had like Will Levis, and I'm pretty sure he had C.J. Stroud. I forgot who he had him going to, but then like he had like Anthony Richardson like all the way as far as like 11, and I've seen like what you have seen too is that he's been Hooker has been going in like the second or third round on like mock drafts because like the ACL thing.
Yeah.
So that's why I thought it was kind of aggressive for that guy to just be like, oh hey, he's in the top 5.
Yeah. Hey guys, we're doing underdog drafts tonight. Underdog code is being dropped in the live chat right now. I'm going to pin it. So if you guys want to be in the live drafts tonight, we might do our very first. I've got this jersey here, this Garrett Wilson signed autographed jersey. Look at this bad boy. Garrett Wilson, autograph signed jersey. I got a video on that I'll play in a little bit, but we're going to do our very, very first Garrett Wilson jersey giveaway league. And essentially what we're going to do is going to do private drafts. These will not be the big board drafts. These will be private drafts. We'll make them like $3 or $5 or whatever. Probably be the $5 drafts. And the prize money is not big on these drafts, but it'll be a way to get us all in a private league on Underdog doing a $5, private draft. And in that private draft, I will accumulate the draft links for every single one of them leading into kickoff of week 1. And the person that scores the most points in weeks 1 through 14 will get this, among other things that I'll give away, like membership to the Fantasy Football Show and all that. But this right here, this Garrett Wilson jersey, is being given away to the winner of this private draft. So we'll do one of those private drafts tonight. We'll also do one of the $10, $250,000 in prizes if they're still out. Ron, I don't know if they're already done or not. Let's see the big board. How many big boards are probably going to be left? Let's see here.
Not that many. They're up over 1,600.
Yeah, I don't know that they'll even be up tonight. The big board is almost over, but we'll do a private draft regardless. That's what it's going to be for the Garrett.
Well, you'll be good for tonight. Tonight, but like
maybe.
This thing, now 107,000. So
yeah,
and it taps out at 12,000. So a lot of people are going to be filling in a lot of those places. They're going to be doing long drafts.
If anybody wants to get into the first private league that's competing for this Garrett Wilson jersey among the other prizes that I'll give away, please click that link that's in the live chat pinned. If you're watching the replay of the video, it's in the description of every video. It's called Underdog Fantasy. Click that link. There's a $10 minimum deposit. They'll match up to $100 in your first deposit. So choose your first deposit wisely, because if you drop $100 first deposit, they'll give you 100. If you drop 10, the minimum, they'll give you 10. But if you want to be in this draft, they're fun. They're leagues. They're best ball leagues. So you don't do any waivers. You don't do any any lineup setting. It's all optimal scoring. It's one and done. You draft and you just hope you have the right strategy to weather through all the bye weeks that you don't even know what the bye weeks are yet. All the injuries. You're just drafting the most well-rounded team you can that will each week have the best starting lineup optimally set for you. So get ready for that.
I'd say if Hooker and Booty were from Vegas, they'd be better quality.
If you guys haven't watched the episode 5 of the Fantasy Football Intern, go watch it because there's the opening scene. The opening scene. I feel like I should play it.
It was gold the other day. It was amazing.
Yeah, the opening scene is Grant and I arguing about Booty. And let me play it real quickly. I'll play the opening scene for you guys. Just the real first opening scene. Here it is right here. The Fantasy Football Intern. If you want to go watch it.
I was gonna say.
What?
After you're all done, I just want to say I just had like a good lead up to this.
Okay.
As far as like Jimmy G and
all right.
Raiders.
All right, hang tight. Here we go.
This
Oh,
is how
hold
to
on.
get cheap fast.
Hold on.
Cardio burns.
Hold on.
Brainstorm. We're in the middle of a rookie draft right now, and I scout rookies like no other. No one knows rookies like me. Hey, Grant.
Thanks, Benny.
You're up in the draft. It's the 2.1 in the rookie draft. You're up. Who do you want?
Okay. I want Booty.
No, I was taking him next. I'm at 2.2. So you got.
I'm 2.1. No, I want Booty. I want Booty.
Booty.
No, it's Booty. I want Booty. I love Booty.
You need a
I need Booty.
Grant, you need a quarterback. He clearly watches all my videos, watching my show like a hawk, knows who I want to take so he can snipe me. You want Hooker. Hooker, Grant. You need Hooker.
I want Booty. I need Booty.
I wanted Booty.
I don't care if you need Booty. I want Booty. I don't want Hooker. I want Booty.
You get Hooker. I got Booty.
No, I don't want a Hooker. I want Booty.
I want Booty. Literally in the middle of the draft, Grant's got to open his big mouth. He knew I wanted Booty. I was going to sleep on the couch anyway, Grant, so I could brainstorm.
So anyway, go watch the Fantasy Football Intern show. They take a lot to produce these episodes, so we do need more views on them to justify.
Hey, on that note too, everybody. I mean, if you go watch it, share it. Share it on Twitter. Share it on Facebook. Help Smitty get some traction on these interns because they are funny and they are good.
Yeah, they don't get near
share it out.
They don't get near the traction. The way the YouTube algorithm works too is like when you're like you're a fantasy football connoisseur, you're following me to get fantasy information. The likelihood of you wanting to watch comedy versus that initially, like when you get an email or you get a notification and like, hey, this new video's out, and you're like, oh, that looks funny, but I don't have time for that right now. That those little micro behaviors tell YouTube to shut it down, and then they don't push it anymore because people are like, I'll watch it later. And so it's crazy the small amount of views that these videos get published on my main channel. Part of me is like, I should just create a separate channel for the show, and then it would gain traction differently. But if you guys can spread it around, it gets like no views compared to a normal show. And it just because it's different content, and YouTube's predicting that people don't want to watch it because it's different. The YouTube algorithms, it's great and it's bad at the same time. Sometimes it's like, but yeah, Steven, you had a lead up to this, you said, or a topic, a hot topic.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, just didn't know if you heard that because like going on to this about like Jimmy G. I guess like Abrato basically said that Jimmy G can basically be set up for life down there.
Yeah, Jimmy G, if he could be set up for life, if he wants to go have occasions, any sort of occasion. Hold on, we got Flounder calling in. Flounder, you're live.
Smitty, it's been a couple weeks.
I think. What's up, Flounder?
And guess what?
What?
Guess what?
What, Flounder?
I'm a David Montgomery truther now.
You're a David Montgomery. Explain this. How did this happen? Hold on, real quickly, Flounder. Hold on. Just for people to know, I'm not going to rip you apart. I want to hear the story. Flounder was real upset at me because I was arguing that Montgomery was potentially the best running back in Detroit now because of the new location, replacing Jamal Williams. Hey, Flounder, I got an admission for you too, though. We're almost crossing paths here. I'm a little shocked that David Montgomery hasn't climbed higher on ADP rankings. I'll admit that to you right now. So go ahead. Tell me why you're a Montgomery truther, Flounder.
The 3 years, guaranteed. Right? Not guaranteed, but the 3-year contract. Swift this is his last year. I like the talent of Swift better, but the ability of Montgomery staying on the damn field does mean more. Jamal Williams had 16 touchdowns last year?
You were really hard on me though, Flounder. You were really hard on me about this topic and thought I was a complete moron. And now it's weird. You love Monty this quickly.
I didn't say you were a moron. I was more or less defending Swift because I think he still has the ability to be a guy that you want to draft depending on where he goes.
Look, but the problem with our argument though, if you replayed it back at all, is you wouldn't listen to me. I was telling you how much I loved Swift's value if he falls late, and he's not really falling as late as I would like. But every time I'm looking at Swift and I'm on the clock and there's a bunch of other questionable running back options, I like drafting him. And you kept saying, Smitty, how could you like Monty over? And it's like, I like both of them in certain spots. That was the big problem we had on our conversation more than anything. But I'm glad to hear you're kind of on the Monty train. Like this is a.
I tried to trade for him in a dynasty, actually.
Jeez.
I think it was really the point of time that it happened right. An hour? Well, you went live when it happened, and it was like, man, you guys were so all about Monty, which I've always liked Monty, but it was like, man, are we just saying Swift is done? Which, I mean, I don't know if he's done, but I do like Monty over Swift. So you've brought me over to the dark side.
I appreciate that, Flounder. Flounder, hang tight.
I got a question for you.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
What would you say? Dynasty content. Have you noticed in the space in the last couple of weeks, all of a sudden you've got all these people going to Dynasty content. You've been one of the leaders in this area. I watch it all. And I do have a question. And you've probably gone over it. Wide receivers this year, rookies.
Okay.
You like JSN. Have you watched much tape on Addison?
Of course.
Quentin Johnson. Where do you look at this rookie class? Could you just go over it again? I know you've probably gone over it before. I'm tuning in. I've got a day off. And
let's do it, Flounder.
Like
let's
everyone
have a day.
Else, I'm watching Smitty.
Let's have a day, Flounder. I mean, in a nutshell, I would say Flowers is my dark horse to be the number one wide receiver from this draft class. I think he's got the most talent. Yeah. He's smaller, but he reminds me of Antonio Brown meets Steve Smith. And I think that he's going to put on some weight as well at the NFL level. You get NFL training, you get NFL attention, you become stronger, faster, bigger. Just look at T.O. when T.O. came out of college and how big T.O. got. Like, this is a Terrell Owens. Yeah, I mean, he got that guy's massive compared to when he came out of college. I'm not saying Flowers needs to bulk up to a crazy size, but he'll gain about 10 pounds naturally. He's not going to lose any speed. I like him a lot, but his landing spot's a little more volatile potentially to predict than, let's say, JSN. JSN's going to go somewhere where he's going to get fed like a wide receiver 1. So if JSN goes to Chicago, I love that. If JSN goes to, we'll pull up the NFL draft board here and just say that the landing spot's going to dictate a lot. But JSN in Houston would be interesting for the long term, maybe not as good for year 1 as Chicago would be. I think the Chargers would be an amazing location for JSN. Baltimore may look to that direction of Quentin Johnson to JSN if they end up keeping Lamar, or even if they don't keep Lamar, which is going to be so frustrating for all of us to watch them address the wide receiver position finally if they get rid of, if they don't have Lamar there. But in a nutshell, JSN's the safest. He's an amazing route runner. He came out and ran a below 4.540, which was unbelievably fast for him and his skill set. That means he's probably not, if anything in the 4.48, 4.45, 4.49, even 4.5 flat is fast enough when you are such an amazing route runner. And that tells me too that he got his 40 down so quickly with NFL training, NFL coaching. That guy's going to be running 4.47, 4.48 on the field, after a year of training and becoming a professional athlete, So I think JSN's the safest pick. I would take JSN in a number of spots, and this is even loving Flowers. Flowers needs to be in the right location.
Yeah.
Chargers would be perfect for Flowers. I think he'd be fantastic there. If New England drafts one of these wide receivers, it's gonna feel like the death of them in one respect. But then if they go and get Lamar, it's going to be an amazing, full circle moment where you're like, oh my God, Lamar's got Zay Flowers now in New England. So, it just depends on where they go, bro. In a nutshell, talent-wise, I had Zay Flowers 1, JSN 2, Addison 3, Quentin Johnson 4. Quentin Johnson would be perfect with, a Stroud. If the Texans take Quentin Johnson at number 12, and they take Stroud at number 2, or let's say the Texans take Bryce Young, Stroud or Bryce Young or Anthony Richardson, whoever they take at number 2, pairing that player up with one of those 4 wide receivers is a critical move for the Texans that I hope they deploy. New England, like I said, is good or bad depending on if Lamar's there. Detroit, I don't think goes after one. Seattle, there's a lot of people that say JSN to Seattle is a possibility. It could be. Chargers would be great. Colts would be amazing if they did go after Lamar.
Did you? So I wasn't able to watch the beginning of your show. So I'm a Maine guy, and so New England Patriots is my team. You think Lamar? Do you think there's a chance?
Yeah, there's a part in the show where I talk about it in tremendous detail. I can't recap the whole show. I'll just say that Bill Belichick was very coy about it today. Kraft has said that it's up to Bill Belichick, and Bill Belichick's a smart enough person to say, you know what, I don't care what anybody thinks. I don't care what we have invested in Mac Jones. I don't care what we have in this. I'm going to go get Lamar Jackson, and he's like Lamar. He's openly like Lamar Jackson to a lot of people. So it would be an amazing...
Did you see the Meek Mill rumors with Kraft? They're buddies, obviously.
We cover that on the show, so definitely rewatch it back. Hold on a second, Flounder. Let's go to the 925 area code. 925, who am I talking to?
Smitty, you didn't save my number from the other night, huh?
Your number? What do you mean?
Yeah, I called the other night. This is George.
Oh, okay. What's up, George? I'm sorry if I didn't see it. Sometimes there's a lot of calls that come in. I can only fit so many people on the line. Right now, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people on the line.
All right. Well, I'm grateful to have an opportunity to talk. Thank you so much.
Yeah. What can I do for you?
So I wanted to. I know I missed the beginning of the show. I wanted to talk about this Trey Lance issue that's going on.
Okay.
So I live here in the Bay Area. I'm a 49er fan, so I follow the team very closely. And I think what's going on here is Kyle does not like Trey Lance. That's what I think. I think that he's not his quarterback. There was that whole issue with who they were going to take with the 3rd pick.
Yep.
And then
Mac was his guy.
I could just tell from the way that he runs his offense is completely different. He's trying to run this guy into the ground, and he likes Purdy. He likes Sam Darnold. He likes those pocket passers that can roll out and throw the ball. And I think this is John Lynch's guy.
Yep.
I think Trey Lance is John Lynch's guy, and what they're going to do is they're going to give him one more opportunity this year to see, if he can compete. And what I think is going to happen is he's going to lose the job to Darnold.
Which is why I said what I said earlier, that everybody wasn't going to hear me. They were going to listen to me, but they weren't going to hear me. That you're far better off if you're going to give up on Trey anyway. And we all know it's going to happen. We can see it from a mile away. If you're going to give up or ruin Trey or get him hurt, whatever, just trade him for a first rounder. Improve your offensive line to protect Purdy and bring in Cam Newton. I understand everyone's going to laugh at Cam Newton. I understand, but Cam Newton for 2 or 3 games is different than if you are picturing me saying Cam Newton's the starter of the Niners. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that Sam Darnold and Cam Newton could compete, whatever. If you're gonna make Trey Lance compete, throw Cam Newton in there, get a first rounder for Trey, improve your offensive line, and think about it from this perspective too. If Cam Newton wants a starting job that he's not going to get because he's not a 17-game starting caliber quarterback, and that's why I get so frustrated when people don't hear what I'm saying. But if you, for example, plugged Cam Newton into this offense instead of Johnson, you would have been in the Super Bowl. Like Cam Newton could facilitate enough for 2 or 3 games. And this would be attractive for Cam because he can ring chase for one. Number 2, he can start some games. Even though he's not going to be the starter, he could potentially start some games maybe through week 4 and prove himself, even though we know he's not going to lead. It's not going to lead him to a big contract, but in his mind, he thinks it could. And so Cam Newton, just imagine him under center, running for a 5 or 10 yard touchdown untouched, rushing it in, just throwing it to Deebo Samuel. You're telling me Cam Newton, who went out there and showed a pretty decent, arm still. Like, I think people can make fun of him all they want, but you're telling me Cam Newton can't go out and run the Jimmy G playbook? Hey, Deebo, take this ball. Hey, Deebo. Hey, Ayuk, here you go. Little quick slant. Hey, Kittle. Oh, wait, I didn't throw to Kittle, remember? Cam Newton could run this offense, and you get a first rounder for it. And the reason I say that isn't, and this is where a Trey Lance truther comes in and forgets that I was a Trey Lance. I was very much pro Trey Lance. You guys remember that. If they're going to give up on him anyway, I don't want Trey to fail in San Francisco. I want him to go to Atlanta or go somewhere else.
Here's the thing here is Kyle Shanahan, he shapes this whole offense differently when Lance is under center.
Exactly.
In his first start against Arizona, it's 16 rushing attempts. In his first start, okay? And then the first game of the year in Chicago last year in the rain, it was 13 rushing attempts. So, he's trying to run this guy too much. Just let him run the offense like Purdy runs the offense, and then if he wants to escape the pocket and run, just let him be free. I think if he did that, he would excel in his offense.
He would.
But I think that Kyle Shanahan is shaping this offense to be a run-first quarterback.
Bro, did Purdy not prove he's a very mobile quarterback? He did. I'll answer it for you. He did. Yeah. He proved to be very mobile. So why when asked about, hey, your 2 quarterbacks, and he says something to the degree of, well, we've got 2 different quarterbacks. We got a hybrid, like a dual threat quarterback in Trey, and we got Brock Purdy. Why can't Trey be defined, just like you said, and I've said this before, why can't they be defined the same way? Why can't you run the same offense? And everyone's saying Trey's busted. He hasn't proven himself, but he hasn't proven to be a bust yet. He got hurt in his second game after 3 or 4 passing attempts and played in a mud bowl in week 1. And his only other game to look at was a very successful Houston Texans win that put the Niners in the playoffs. And so I hate when people say he's failed. He hasn't failed. But he's not going to succeed. Not under Shanahan, who wants to completely avoid using him.
He won't succeed. Exactly.
He won't. So put him somewhere. Put him in, I don't know, Atlanta. Atlanta very much, I guess, loves Ritter. But put him in Atlanta. Put him in, I don't know. Where could he go, guys? Where could he go at this point? At this stage in the game?
Smoke season. You talk about smoke season all the time. I think you're 100% correct. Trey Lance is probably going to get the go. It's not going to be Purdy. He probably can't even throw the ball. He's going to have Chad. He's going to be the next Chad Pennington 2.0 when you watch.
Is this Flounder?
Yeah,
this has got to be Flounder talking. Flounder, is that you?
Yeah, Purdy 2.0 Chad Pennington. Remember when Chad
Okay,
Pennington
but
had
Flounder,
his shoulder injury?
Flounder, you're saying Trey's going to probably get the go. We've seen maybe he does. Maybe he does get the go in week 1. But Shanahan has not set him up for success. And as I'm sorry, 925. What's your name again?
He hasn't had the ability to have success.
What's the caller 925? I just said that though, Flounder. I know that. But what?
George. Well, okay,
George.
So we need to see. We need to see it.
But Flounder is. Do you have any confidence whatsoever, like George alluded to, and like I've alluded to, that Shanahan is going to set him up, A, for success, B, even give him the job? He's gone out and publicly said that Darnold and Trey are taking first-team reps. They're going to share first-team reps in the offseason. That is already
Darnold
setting
just
up.
got there. We haven't done any OTAs, so we don't know about Darnold. So we know that's smoke. You talk about smoke, and I agree with you. It's a lot of smoke season. Well, let's see how it plays out. But as far as like,
okay, hold on. Here's the thing. Here's the thing about Darnold. Okay, I've been following this team for the last 28 years. Since I've been a fan. And Kyle Shanahan, when Darnold was coming out in the draft, he wanted him, but he couldn't get him at 3. So Kyle Shanahan really loves Sam Darnold. Like this is his guy,
bro. Shanahan does not know quarterbacks for the life of him. He just doesn't. He has an amazing scheme. He's an offensive savant. You give him the right tools, he'll win with it to a degree. But the passing on Brady, the passing on Mahomes, the passing on Deshaun Watson, the liking Kirk Cousins over so many other better quarterbacks, not saying Kirk isn't good, but just his inability to understand the quarterback position, number one, and who's the right fit, right? Number two, when to deploy said strategy, when to go all in on the quarterback, when to give the quarterback confidence. You're telling me you're going to come out and give Brock Purdy, who I agree, starting 8 games, won 8 games, looked amazing. I understand, but if you're going to go ahead and go against the grain for Shanahan's normal way of approaching this and say he's the guy, when Shanahan's always coy, right? He's always coy. He thinks he's so slick by not giving up information, but he's going to go ahead and say Brock Purdy's earned their job. But you can at least give Trey Lance the job over Darnold in public. Like, Trey Lance, this is a confidence game, Flounder. And Trey Lance has got a confidence issue already. And now you've got your quarterback saying, we just signed Darnold, and we're going to have you compete with Darnold. That's disrespectful. It's not good for confidence, and it's a pattern. It's a pattern that tells us that Darnold's a real threat to Trey Lance's job.
I think it has more to do with the injury, but
we'll see. Flounder, I don't disagree with you that Trey Lance should be the guy. I don't disagree with you that Trey Lance would succeed if he was supported, but I have zero confidence in Kyle Shanahan.
More or less the injury to Purdy. I think that's what's dictating the signing of Darnold.
Well,
that's what that tells me.
Yeah, but Spitty makes a really good point. You invest all this draft capital in this guy, and you can't even put him out in front of Sam Darnold.
Right.
You just sign a free agency and say that he's the guy.
Because they signed Darnold because Purdy's probably not going to be ready.
Flounder, we understand that. But what we're saying is
that's why they signed Darnold.
We understand that, Flounder. We agree with you. So put that part to bed. We're saying that there's no reason to play a game, a coy game about who's your backup. Is it going to be Trey? Is it going to be Sam Darnold? Why even go there? Why not just say, look, Trey's the like, if Darnold does impress us, Darnold impresses us. Like, well, so be it. But to already announce the game plan is 50-50, that Trey Lance has to compete with Darnold?
Motivation tactic. I mean, you guys played sports, right? It's a motivation tactic, obviously.
I mean, if it is, it's a dumb motivation tactic for your quarterback that you've given up so much.
I think college sports. I mean, that's exactly what that is. That's a motivation tactic.
I don't know that it is. I don't know that it is,
Here's
bro.
the thing. I feel like they need.
I understand.
I feel like they need to give Trey Lance a shot to run this offense with McCaffrey and see what he can do, but open it up. Don't just make him a run-first quarterback.
Right, exactly.
All right. Hey, let's move on. Let's move on from the Niner debate because we talked about this way too much. And let's go to Ben. Oh, Ben's gone. I was going to give Ben a chance. Wild Bill. What else you got, Wild Bill? Throw out a new topic. I don't really want to talk about Trey Lance anymore. It's unfortunate. It's just an unfortunate debacle.
You do it for Raj, Smitty. You do it for Raj.
I mean, I agree with Smitty quite a bit here. I ain't gonna lie, but I mean, but you want me to throw out a new topic? I've been taking Bijan today at 10, and I turned right around and grabbed Garrett Wilson.
Sweet combo, bro.
And then, you know what? Here's the kicker to that. And you've been teaching me this. On the way back through, everybody's grabbing like Mahomes and and I'm like, oh no, I need a quarterback. Guess who was still there?
At third round value?
Cigar smoking Burrow.
People are getting burrowed left and right, and people are going to remember.
Oh my God, dude! I'm like, seriously, he's still here? Boom!
Yeah, he's falling around. He's falling like 4.1 to 4.2. Ron, where's the latest you've seen Burrow go? The last like 10 drafts that you've done, Ron. Ron does more best ball drafts than anybody.
On 4, I've seen him go in round 5, and if you can stay away from Hurts, Mahomes, and Allen in that second round, you can get really good value for Burrow or Justin Fields. And, wide receivers.
He was right there neck and neck, and the guy right before me took Fields. I'm like, okay.
I mean, 5 is crazy.
I'll take Burrow.
5. You know what? When you drop Joe Burrow around 5, this is what I think.
Got him.
That's the biggest got him moment in fantasy. Videos to come on that, by the way. I did the old Breece Hall wins leagues at 25 overall. Your first player drafted in the third round that wins leagues. But Joe Burrow in round 4 or 5, this is getting ridiculous. This is like nobody even, like everyone has amnesia. Everybody hit their head and they don't realize what happened last year. And that's fantastic.
That's what I'm like. Are you serious right now?
Let's go to.
They're starting to treat Burrow like Smitty treats Cousins.
Yeah, let's go to. Ben, try calling in again. I saw your message. I hit accept, but I don't know if it went through. Burrow in round 5.
I know it's like everybody's
crazy.
picking Justin Jefferson, JJ. I'll be like, well, who do you think is throwing to JJ?
Yeah.
That leads to the hey, question for you. Did you see the rumor mill of Trey Lance going to Minnesota, Smitty?
Yeah, we talked about that. Total BS, I think. Does
Kirk Cousins go back to 49ers with Shanahan?
Yeah, we talked about that.
Oh, okay.
No.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to happen because there's no way the Vikings are just going to be like, let's start over at quarterback when they have a system in place that's been successful, and not saying that they're going to win a Super Bowl. I feel like the Vikings are paper tigers when they get into the playoffs, but they can win the division. And when you're a team that can win the division and you have confidence in yourself, you're not going to start over. So
no. Big school, wet dream.
The Patrick's calling back in. Ben, call back in if you got a question. The Patrick, you're live on the Fantasy Football Show. The Patrick, what can we do for you, pal? Appreciate you calling back.
What's going on? I see that you do a whole bunch of mock draft analysis. Who do you have in a regular redraft league? Who do you have as your RB2?
I'm best player available, the Patrick. I always go best player available, which does not mean, let me remind you, does not mean that I go with the top ranked player on the ADP rank. That's not brainless drafting. What I mean by best player available is, in my mind, even if it's 5 players ranked down on the ADP list, 7 players down, whoever's my best player available, I take. I don't settle on a position ever. I never draft a position. I always draft a player. So let me add this though. The 2 biggest steals in fantasy football, hands down at the running back position, are Walker and Breece Hall. And they're going at the tail end of round 2 and the top of round 3. So if you are lucky enough that best player available is wide receiver, and it usually is in the first round, I think you draft even a Tyreek Hill if you don't get lucky enough to have like a Burrow or a Cooper Kupp or a Jamar Chase. I love all those guys in the first round. If you were to take
Smitty loves DeAndre Swift too.
This guy flounders.
Yeah, I got Jamar Chase as number one on my want list.
So
but I was talking about as far as go ahead.
Yeah, you take Jamar Chase at number 2 or number 1 overall, and Walker and Breece Hall are there back-to-back picks, bro. Smash it, double smash, the double stamp and triple stamp right there. You walk out with Jamar Chase, Walker, and Breece Hall. That's fantastic. I'm not saying I don't like Burrow as well, but we're getting the sense that Burrow is falling into mid round 4 easily, and you just might get lucky.
I'm in a 10-team league, and he's going to round 6.
Oh, 10-team league, 10-team league, easy weight. So yeah, go. You're gonna if you go Jamar Chase, Walker, Breece Hall, and then whatever player you end up getting like Olave or somebody. If you're playing in a grandma league, they won't know Olave is going to be what Olave is going to become. You take Olave.
Oh, yeah, I have Olave ranked high.
You get Olave, and then you get Joe Burrow in round 6. Bro, you walk out with Joe Burrow, Olave, Jamar Chase, Breece Hall, Kenneth Walker. You just walk straight to the bank. You just walk straight to the bank, pal.
Yeah, so I'm picking at the 1-6. And usually my league hits running backs really hard, but I'm looking at of course, Chase or Jefferson right there. McCaffrey's going to be gone. The reason why I asked about the RB2 is that I think I like Chubb over any other option that high.
He's okay in the second round, but I'm just not in love with it. I have a fear of this changing of the guard happening more than it's not. And that doesn't mean that every single old running back is going to fall out of favor. Like, Chubb could have one more electric year. Derrick Henry could have a very amazing first month or two, and I trade him high because I don't want to play around with Derrick Henry in week 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 because the mileage is crazy. Same thing goes for Austin Eckler. Eckler, I would draft if he fell to that top of round 2. I'd draft him and I'd trade him after about a month and a half of amazing play, and then I go ahead and trade him. So, like,
best value out there is Najee in round 4 or 5.
That is good value, Najee in 4 or 5. Alvin Kamara is a guy that everybody makes fun of me because I rip him apart and then I draft him, but he's going in round 9. Ron, where did he go in the last?
Well, they're worried about that suspension.
Right, but it's baked in. It's baked in. You don't have to worry about the suspension. He's going around. Ron, where is he going now in current drafts? Is he climbing or is he still in round 9?
He's still around the same area. He hasn't moved up or down much at all.
I mean, does anybody in here, and speak up if you do, does anybody in here trust the NFL to really suspend him for a year? I don't. And I know he kind of dropped off last year.
I really do doubt it.
I know he kind of dropped off last year. I know they started using different RBs as well. But, like, this was a different offense. It was on the struggle bus. Derek Carr's in there now. Olave is going to take a big step forward. It's a top 10 defense, arguably. This is going to be a much, much more improved team. And I honestly feel like Kamara, the more I hear about him pleading out to the lesser charge of conspiracy, which is a misdemeanor, it's a misdemeanor. What conspiracy charge means is that he was potentially conspiring to beat someone up. But he's not admitting that he beat someone up. So what he's pleading guilty to has nothing to do with the actual act. It has to do with the conspiracy of the act. And so he's going to get a misdemeanor, and this guy's going to get all kinds of medical, medical fee, monies involved in this. And then the actual lawsuit that will be civil will be about the cash money. You can't settle in a criminal. But you can certainly
that
plead.
That guy's going to get paid for sure.
Yeah, you can certainly plead.
Oh, yeah.
But this is not a case where they can just settle out because it's criminal. Criminal is very, very different. But you can plea out, and so he can accept a plea, and that plea can have some sort of monetary payments for medical, and they could be through the wazoo. So
yeah, big time.
Yeah, Kamara's lost it.
Ziggy, show me the front door. Let's see who's here.
Here's the thing with Kamara. If the NFL does not punish him, if he gets out scot clean, he still won't complete the season because I'm going to become the punisher and make sure he doesn't finish the season.
Whoa. Whoa, Ron.
New Orleans ain't that far away from here, buddy.
Ron's gonna go box.
Jesus.
Ron, we should set up a boxing
boy.
match. We should set up a boxing match between you and Alvin Kamara.
He does not.
Ziggy,
Kamara does not deserve to play the game of football.
Well, Ron, let's keep you on.
Holy Ron on the soapbox.
Ron, let's keep you on the field, okay? Let's not have you follow in the footsteps of Alvin Kamara. Ziggy off. Okay, so let's go over. Let's see who else we have here. Did Ben ever call back? Ben, I don't see Ben here. Muted Mario, either muted himself or dropped off the line. Who hasn't talked for a while? That wants to.
Hey, Smitty.
Who's this? Flounder, what's up?
Question for you.
Hey, I got something for Flounder.
Deshaun. Whoa. Yeah.
In your dynasty things, you were asked about receivers. Keep in mind, there's a couple of receivers way down that you might want to think about really deep sleepers. And Ford Wheaton and Tyler Scott. And Dell's down there
Tyler
too.
Scott.
I thought you were mad at Tyler Scott, Ron.
Probably one of the few outside inside receivers in the draft. Most of them are all slot receivers. Tyler Scott.
Here's the question. Well, thank you. But here's the question for Smitty. Here's a good one. Jalen Hyatt, have you watched the film, Smitty?
Yes.
And I know you have.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. I gotta say.
What do you think?
I gotta say, Flounder. I can't get over the way he runs with his neck forward. That bothers me for some reason. He runs like this when he's running. It's almost like he's trying to hit the finish line a little early, like stretch out. He's got to straighten his posture up. It makes me want to straighten my posture
that
up.
may bother you, but like, what do you think of other than
I like
the
him.
look of it?
I like him. I think he's got to be in the right spot. He didn't impress me like he impressed everybody else. I think he's got potential. And a lot of these wide receivers, they can come into the league and they can be ranked 3rd, 4th, or 5th and end up being the second best. So it's not like I'm ruling anything out. In the right spot, I'll like Hyatt, but he's a guy I don't quite love quite as much as everybody else. I think he's decent past the big 4 wide receivers. Butte, Hyatt, these guys aren't impressing me. This is a very weak wide receiver class comparatively to the 2022 class. It doesn't hold a candle. Maybe one of these guys will be top 15. One of them could be top 10. But we have literally the 2022 class consuming about 70% of the entire top 12.
It's interesting. I play college football, like I said, UNH, and it's to watch him. It's different. You watch his tape and he's fast. Doesn't show much side-to-side movement, but as far as long speed, he has it. Tennessee, that quarterback. What's the quarterback's name that got injured, Smitty? That he played with? They were. Killing it during the year.
I'm blanking on his name.
Towards the ECL.
Talking about Hooker. Let's see.
Hooker.
Yeah.
Hendon Hooker.
Yeah, we talked about Hooker already.
Yeah. So I just wonder if that's why I'm so amazed with this wide receiver class. I watch all these guys on YouTube videos, the highlight reel, and granted it's not everything, but it's like, man, I can't pinpoint other than JSN, like you stated before, and 100% correct. Who the guys that we should be looking at? Is it Hyatt? Is it Zay Jones? Zay Flowers? Is it Quentin Johnson? I don't like Quentin Johnson, but it makes you wonder. Addison,
it's landing spot.
Combine, Addison was a dog.
I like Addison a lot. He's small, but I like him a lot. Which side are you on, Smitty? Rookie draft 1.1 or 1.3 and Drake London? That's a real tough question because not knowing the entire package of your what your squad looks like. I would say give me the 1.1 only because I don't know what the 1.3 is going to hold for you. If the draft comes and let's say JSN's in an amazing spot and Jahmyr Gibbs is in an amazing spot and Charbonnet's in an amazing spot, all of a sudden I like the 1.3 and Drake London maybe more than the 1.1. So it just kind of depends. It's a really decent, I think there's arguments to make on both sides. I don't know the makeup of your team. Does Drake London fill a void for you that makes this like a no-brainer. I'd have to have that information. But if you've got like good bench wide receivers and the upgrade to Drake London is not crazy, and Drake London's still got some risk. I love him a lot. He's a huge monster breakout candidate. He's a moon man. But 1.1 Bijan's just special, and I want Bijan unless you can't win with Bijan. So it's a good question, Robert, and I think that people are going to be divided on that one because London's a big difference maker there. That's a real good addition for you.
Who's the high-end comp to Jahmyr Gibbs for you, Smitty?
Kamara. Kamara for sure. JSN is only guy you need in redraft, says Prime. I could get behind that, but I think landing spot's going to be vital to telling that story. We'll know more. Hold on one second. The Patrick, did you have anything else you wanted to add?
Yeah. As far as so I think I got David Njoku as like my tight end 7. As far as like in drafts, before we go further down that line and maybe Dawson Knox or Cole Kmet, what is your take on maybe waiting till later in the draft and getting Mike Mayer or Kincaid or Washington?
Yeah, I like Washington a lot. I think waiting on a tight end is always the best approach unless a tight end falls to a great value, i.e. Kyle Pitts. I'd rather have Kyle Pitts in round 6 or 7 than go any other direction at all at the tight end position. That's just an absolute smash to me because it bakes in all the risk. It bakes in all the concerns. It bakes in everything. And if he does end up having the tight end season we expect him to eventually have, and it happens on your watch, and you've got him at 6th or 7th round baked in value, you literally win your league. So Kyle Pitts is quietly my number 3 tight end this year, 3-4. I think Freiermuth falling to like tight end 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We don't even know where he's going to really level out at. Cole Kmet in the 10, 11, 12 range. Okonkwo in the 9, 10, 11, 12 range. And Njoku's outside the top 12 for me. Like I got Knox and Njoku. It's actually a really deep tight end pool now. We got a huge, listen to all the tight ends in no particular order. Kelsey, Hawkinson, Kyle Pitts, Mark Andrews, Evan Ingram, who played phenomenal last year. Darren Waller is in a great spot. Dalton Schultz, Dallas Goedert, Pat Freiermuth, and Okonkwo, Kmet, Dawson Knox. That is 13 deep. That is a very, very nice.
Mike Gesicki!
What else we got?
I
don't know.
Maybe Ad is really upset at me. I don't know. I think I won't get to Kamara because Ad is going to get me first.
Yeah. Look, I love Kamara 9th, 10th round. Hear me now. Kamara's a POS, but draft him in round 9 or 10 in a handful of underdog drafts. It's win a league potential. Okonkwo top 5 tight end. Very, very capable, DJ. Very capable. And he's going around like 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Like Okonkwo is either outside the top 10 tight ends or he's like number 7 for somebody. It's crazy. Robert, appreciate you, Robert. Robert says, Smitty, I'm going with all your takes this year. Don't go with all my takes. I'm going to be wrong, 25% of the time. You know what I mean? Like in my best year ever, I'm going to land 65, 70% of all my calls. That's the nature of the injuries and prediction game. But like in a good year, if I land 70, so always incorporate your own gut instinct. But I appreciate the support. Not listening to anyone else's opinion. Now that I can get behind, Robert. Okay, let's get it this year, Robert. Let's do it. Spread the word. Spread the link around. Where's Goddard ranked? Goddard, where did I read Goddard off on that list?
Top 6.
What did I say?
Yeah, he's up there always.
Yeah, I said Kittle, Goddard, Schultz, Freiermuth. Freiermuth is like 8, 9, 10. Goddard's like 7, 8, 9. Waller's
gonna fall off.
Coming off 3rd or 4th every time.
Waller's like 6, 7, 8. Ingram's like 5, 6. Goddard's like 7, 8, 9. Freiermuth is like 8, 9, 10. Freiermuth is a value. Freiermuth's going really late. Okonkwo is outside the top 10. He's going outside the top 10, I think, more times than not.
Yeah, prove it.
But
then you always have the whole Jawan Johnson, Taysom Hill thing going
Yeah.
on down further.
Yeah, Taysom
I'm
Hill's
like,
all.
okay. Who do we? Yeah.
And Taysom Hill's great in best ball because you have to make zero decisions on when to start him. So it's just like he's gonna have a 30 or 40 point game once or twice, and maybe doesn't do well the rest of the games. I don't know.
Right.
Vinny, what's your take on Charbonnet?
Man, Flounder, I mean this with all due respect, but I feel like you've never watched a piece of my content. I feel like you everything you're asking is like
he can't be tackled. The guy can't be tackled.
Yeah, I feel like Flounder, like a lot of things you're asking, I've beat a dead horse on like so many videos in a row. Like you must be either brand new. When did you start watching this show, Flounder?
Late. When you said that Darrell Henderson was going to be the next guy.
You what?
Pop open a nice
When you said that
Chardonnay.
Darrell Henderson was going to be the next guy.
Way back then. Yeah, so have you
Under inception.
have you not been watching the Moon Man list? Look at let me show let me show you the Moon Man. Hang tight, guys. Hang tight. Hold on. Here, I'm going to play the Moon Man here. So Flounder, take a gander. Okay, take this in. Breathe it in, Flounder. Here it is.
So he's a moon man?
Of course
I
he
don't
is.
watch every episode, but he's a moon man?
Look at the screen, Flounder.
I can't look at the bottle.
Okay, let me read them off, Flounder.
Space Monsters.
These are the Moon Men 2023 in no particular order.
2023 Moon Man. Okay, the official list.
Okay, you ready? Flounder, focus. Okay, ready?
I'm in.
Hold on.
I'm right here. Right here.
Hold on.
Fire it in, Smitty. Do it.
Pop open a nice bottle of Chardonnay.
I haven't even.
Let's go.
I haven't even coached her. What do you want to say? What do you want to say? Say it one more time. Okay. Thank you, Joe Burrow. Ha ha ha. She just automatically associates. Hold on, I gotta close the door.
Oh my god.
She automatically associates the mic with Joe Burrow. Ha ha ha. But Flounder, let me go over the Moon Men real quick. Flounder, focus. Okay, here we go.
The Moon Men.
Right here.
Dropping loads
Fire it
in
in.
outer space.
In no particular order: Bijan Robinson, Garrett Wilson, Flounder; Jahmyr Gibbs, Flounder;
Space Monsters.
Chris Olave, Flounder; Charbonnet, Breece Hall, Sean Tucker, rookie running back; Tony Pollard, George Pickens, Christian Watson, Kenneth Walker, Kenneth Walker, Drake London, Kyle Pitts, and Zay Flowers. Those are your Moon Men 2023 so far.
When did you add Charbonnet?
Probably one of the first guys. Probably top 4 ads. Like I mean,
January.
Okay.
Yeah, he's
It's an extensive list, so like, yeah, I obviously I could miss an episode.
Hey,
right?
yeah, but Flounder, have
You do
you
understand.
have you missed the Marsmen? I play this on almost every show. Flounder, I've narrowed down. Flounder,
okay.
focus, Flounder. I've narrowed down my.
Oh, I'm right here, bud. Can you focus?
I've narrowed down my Moon Men and additional players to my top 7 overall players in terms of cost of entry. Okay, here's the Marsmen.
You do realize people won't exactly remember everything.
Yeah,
that you
no,
said, right?
they remember. Everybody on this call.
Okay.
Hey, hold on. Hey, Steven, let's test out Flounder's accusation.
Just tell me.
Flounder has an
Just all I wanted
accusation.
to
Hold
know
on.
if you had Charbonnet there or
Hold
not,
on.
dude, and what your thoughts
Hold
were.
on.
That's all I'm asking.
Hold on. Let's
That's all
test
I'm
out your
asking. You're going way
accusation.
too far.
Steven, name some Marsmen.
No, I'm asking about Charbonnet. You got it all wrong.
Flounder, hold on.
I'm just asking about Charbonnet.
Flounder, hold on. Steven,
What
name
your
a Marsman.
thoughts were.
Steven, name Marsmen. Go.
Breece Hall, Tony Pollard, CeeDee Lamb.
Okay, that's a bad example.
Yeah.
Steven, be quiet.
Devontae Williams.
Steven, be quiet. Hold on. Let's go to.
You've been breached.
Yeah, let's just play the Marsmen. Goodness sake.
He's on a shuttle to Mars.
Bijan.
Mars.
Charbonnet.
So Flounder, my top 7
Well, I was
guys.
asking you about Charbonnet, not who your moon men were.
aimlessly
But anyways.
I'm sorry, my top. What is this? 9 guys now? 1, 2, 3, 4.
No, I just
5,
asked you about Charbonnet when you thought about him. I may have missed the video. That's all
When
I'm asking.
he first started talking about Charbonnet, he came in and said that Charbonnet
Okay, well,
cannot be
I missed
tackled.
the video.
Same thing you
Is
just
it
said.
so hard to realize that I missed the video? Can you just tell me what you think about Charbonnet?
Yeah, I'm
This is not rocket
Flounder. I'm going to, but I'm getting to it. My top 8 players for
I don't understand where you're going.
God, the top 8 players, Flounder, for value in 2023. The Marsmen are Olave, Bijan, Burrow, Chase, Garrett Wilson, Charbonnet, Gibbs, and Breece Hall. Those are the top 8 players, my Marsmen. So here we go. Let me explain it to you. Charbonnet is impossible to tackle. He's Nick Chubb meets Derrick Henry. This guy is an absolute monster. If anybody takes just 2 minutes out of their day to watch some Charbonnet footage, they would know what we've been talking about on the show for well over a year and a half, 2 years. Because he was going to come out of college last year, and he was my number 3 overall ranked running back. And when he didn't come out, I was devastated. And he still is my number 3 rookie ranked running back even this year. So I've been talking about Charbonnet for 2+ years, or about 2+ years really.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of people have different opinions on him. I just was wondering more of an, thought on his 40, on his shuttle, on his cone.
Looks good. Is what he is. Looks like a monster.
I literally walked into a liquor store and asked for a bottle of Charbonnet.
Hey, yeah, that's the other thing. I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can watch this right now. Flounder, do you have the ability? Do you have the ability to pull up the stream, Flounder?
I mean, like a bottle of Charbonnet
right now, currently.
Yeah.
Live.
Yeah. Can you?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, I want you to watch this right now because this is another thing you've missed that we play literally like every day on the show, which is why I don't know that you watch the show. I'm just questioning it, Flounder, because I literally.
Well, Smitty, I work. I have 3 kids, and
these sound like excuses.
So I don't get every second of it. But
okay.
I mean, come on.
We need to pick up. We need to pick up your streaming numbers. You need to watch more of the show. Okay, Flounder. That's all I'm asking.
Oh, I watch plenty of the show. But
okay.
I just don't.
Flounder, I'm going to press a button. You ready?
Sure.
Okay, here it is. Get Charbonnet.
Get Charbonnet. Pop open a nice bottle of Charbonnet.
On the screen, Flounder, we have multiple bottles of a champagne called Charbonnet, and we play this on the daily here on the channel.
Okay, I have never seen it.
Now you've been christened.
A lot of your content. I've never seen it.
All right, appreciate you, Flounder.
So that's cool. That's cool.
All right, let's go to the what was it?
All
right.
I mean, it's pretty serious.
What, Flounder?
To expect everyone to see that, I don't know.
I think I don't know who has higher expectations right here in between you and me, Flounder. My expectations for you to watch more of the show, or your expectations. Hold on, or your expectations of me to be reasonable. I really don't understand. I don't know who's wrong here. But hold on, Flounder. Hang tight, Flounder. Who is it? Is George still on the phone?
Yeah.
George, what can I do for you?
I want to know what your take is on this Packers backfield. Are we going to see the rise of Dillon this season and less workload for Aaron Jones, or what?
What do you guys think on the call here? Flounder, let's let a couple other people talk. I appreciate it, but let's see what the Patrick thinks, maybe Wild Bill, on this topic. I personally think Aaron Jones had such a good year, and I didn't even know it. Usually I know it. I absorb myself in so much fantasy football. Nothing really slips past me in terms of like this player played well, this player played well. What's this guy's ADP? I usually know that stuff like the back of my hand. And I honestly, genuinely was shocked when I looked at Aaron Jones' stats and I said, holy crap, this guy had a better year than I even imagined. And so I'm going to say, I don't know if Dillon's going to be, maybe a certain point in the year he becomes Dillon. But because Aaron Jones has that injury concern still. He's never really shaken it from me, that label. But what do you think, the Patrick and Wild Bill? Let's start with the Patrick.
I think it's going to be Dillon this year. I think with Aaron Rodgers and his command of the offense leaving, I think they're going to have more of like a base offense, and I think A.J. Dillon complements that more than an Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones will still have his moments, and of course, more of a Dillon's good coming out of the backfield too, but I think it's a Dillon year.
Yeah, let's go to the Wild Bill.
Yeah, AJ has still. I mean, he's still got it though. I mean, he's not okay. You know, he can run, catch, and also he's a great blocker for the quarterback. So I mean, he's always had that little advantage. But like you said, with the injury and all that, it's going to be interesting. Dylan's, he's great too. So that I just hope it's not like a whole totally. Kind of like where it was with Fournette and White. I hope it's not one of those deals. Because you pick him, then you're like, well, he's not even in there. It's like, okay, now he's back in, but then they get down to the goal line and be like, oh, now he's in. Then he scored it. And,
Yeah, I hear you.
I just hope it doesn't end up in one of those things.
Yeah, Ron Navy, what's your thoughts? Quickly as you can on this topic. Aaron Jones, Dylan.
No Fournette scored.
I think they'll do the same that they always do. Their role doesn't change at all, so they'll have the same type of year that they had last year. I'm sure of it.
I also kind of wonder, like with Jordan Love under center, Aaron Jones is a lot more valuable than AJ Dillon initially because he's going to be throwing to him, checking down to him. He's probably the best receiver on the team after Watson. So, easily is the best receiver on the team after Watson. You could even argue they're almost equal in terms of value of pass catching. So, but you know what I love about Watson? And Flounder, I'll swing it back over to Flounder. Watson, who's a moon man, Christian Watson, this guy to me is a Deebo Samuel-esque player. I'm not saying he's going to be handed the football like Deebo was and get that kind of rushing. No, but this is a guy that could get 2 or 3 rushing touchdowns and 250 rushing yards. No. Guy's so dynamic.
No, Sweetie, you're 100% correct.
Thank you.
There's no question about that.
Thank you, Flounder.
Well, look, this is why I bring up the whole Aaron Jones thing, because Aaron Jones is 28 years old. Why not just shift to Dylan, who's the younger back, and make him the primary guy? That's what I would do.
They're stupid in NFL.
You got both under contract.
Yeah, I don't know that it's a like right or wrong to which running back to use. I think Dylan is definitely got upside if he gets in there, but I think Aaron Jones is just so. He had such a good year. He had such a good year. When I don't know if anybody else knows what he did, but let me pull up his stats real quickly. He had such a good season. It was so shocking because, yeah.
No, he's great.
Yeah, but Dylan got all the rushing touchdowns.
Well,
you don't
negative. Negative.
He got a lot of rushing touchdowns, a lot of them. But I would say this is still a very shockingly good season. Let me put it on screen here. This is a crazy year that I didn't absorb or feel because I didn't have a lot of shares of him. But he played 17 games. 1121 rushing, 1,121 yards rushing, 5.3 yards per carry for Aaron Jones. 5.3 yards per carry. Like you could say something like, "Oh, Aaron Jones is falling off." You can't say he's falling off. A guy that got 5.3 yards per carry, you cannot say had a fall off season. He had two rushing touchdowns, which was a little disappointing. 5 100-yard games rushing. The guy had 59 receptions.
But AJ Dillon didn't over.
Yeah.
AJ Dillon might have had 3?
Yeah, I have to look it up. I think
it was AJ Dillon had 7. AJ Dillon had 7 rushing touchdowns.
Okay.
59
receptions. Hold on. Let's go Aaron Jones first. 59 receptions for 395 and 5 touchdowns. He had 7 total touchdowns and literally 1,500 yards. That's crazy. That's a great season. So I don't know how you can just dial off that and say Dylan's not as dimensional as Aaron Jones. If Aaron Jones had dropped off, if he had averaged like 3.9 yards per carry or something, I could totally say, you know what, give AJ Dillon the rock. But when you come off a 5.3 yard per carry season on 213 totes, 1121 on the ground, 7 total touchdowns, 60 receptions for 400 yards, it's like this is what Jordan Love needs. But I do like Dylan. I think Dylan's a sleeper, and Dylan's falling to a very nice value, bro. Very, very nice.
Well, Smitty, look up Dylan's stats. I think that if he got more volume, he would surpass what Aaron Jones does.
Maybe, but it's hard to extrapolate data.
Well, you thought he would last year, but he didn't. Like the year before, he had 1,200 yards total offense with 8 touchdowns, and he didn't even come close to that in 2021 or 22.
Yeah, you know who I'm just back to Christian Watson. Christian Watson could have 1,300 total or 1,300 receiving yards, 1,200, 1,300 receiving yards, 85 80 plus receptions, easy. 8 to 9 to 10 receiving. Let's call it 7 to 8 receiving touchdowns under Jordan Love. Let's keep expectations pretty solid. And then 2 or 3 rushing touchdowns. He had 2 last year, and I think he had around 200 rushing yards, didn't he? Like he could easily have 250 on the ground, 2 or 3 rushing touchdowns, 7 to 8 receiving touchdowns. This is a 10 plus total touchdown player, and potentially 1,500 total yards.
Yeah.
All right, let me. I gotta wrap it up here. So let me go around the horn here, and let's start off with Flounder. Flounder, you have 10 seconds to make any closing statements or arguments. Go.
Love the show, man.
All right,
keep doing what you're doing, and look forward to the next show.
Flounder, appreciate you, even though I'm hard on you. Sometimes we're hard on our best students.
Hey, I try to be hard on you too, dude. It's a back and forth, and I love it.
All right. Appreciate you, Flounder. Later.
See you, buddy.
George. Actually, George, hang tight. I'm going to go George second to last because I can't save your name in here until I get rid of some of these callers the way that my screen's set up. So hang tight. The Patrick, you got
right.
10 seconds. Go.
It's just good getting on, first time being on. When is the next time you go live? I know it's every night at 7, but do you do any other side streams?
So here's my schedule, just so you know. Every single day, this is a 7 p.m. show we're on right now. Every single day, I'm live 7 p.m. Eastern. Sometimes the show's an hour long. I usually try and make it an hour. We've gone for 2 hours and 20 minutes today. I'm live whenever news breaks. So that means if you hear Aaron Rodgers news or Lamar news or something big at all, Hopkins is going to get traded, even if it's just a big rumor. Like if you're seeing it everywhere, I want you to come to the stream. First of all, turn on notifications, but I'm going live to talk about it. So I'm live on call, bro. I work for you, okay? Patrick, I work for you, bro. And so when news breaks, I go live. So I go live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m., live randomly on call whenever news breaks, and I'm live every Tuesday at midnight, Thursday at midnight, Friday at midnight, Saturday at midnight. So we'll be drafting tonight.
All right, awesome.
All right, appreciate you. Wild Bill, 10 seconds, go.
Hey, brother, I just want to appreciate everything that you do. I mean, you make it so easy to watch you, and I have learned so much. You're like one of my favorite teachers from high school that I learned so much of and appreciate. I just want to thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate you, Wild Bill. Call in anytime.
Have a good night, brother.
The phone lines are always open to you, pal. If I see you, I'll add you. Okay, later. Steven from Massachusetts. What's up, Steven? 10 seconds, go.
Hey, Smitty, I'll throw a curveball at you. So, you obviously decided to be a fantasy football guy, but say if like you didn't go down this career path, is there like another sport that like you were like passionate about besides football that maybe you would have like would have been interesting to see if you would have chose that career instead of football?
I did do fantasy basketball, and I was almost better at fantasy basketball than I was ever at football. It was just crazy. But I got out of that. I love watching basketball. I love the Suns. I'm going to go to a Suns game tomorrow, actually. Hopefully. Does anybody know if Kevin Durant's playing tomorrow?
Yeah, he is, Smitty. They just broke the news this afternoon that he is playing.
I bought these tickets. So I'm taking my 11-year-old to a Suns game for the very first time. And we were so excited when we traded for Kevin Durant. We bought the tickets immediately. They doubled in price immediately. And that's off of the Suns.com. They doubled. And as soon as we got the tickets, he goes out and does that layup and just sprains his ankle. And we're just like, good God. So that's going to be awesome. But yeah, basketball is a love of mine. I got my first degree was in psychology. So if I wasn't doing some sort of sports, I imagine I could be in some sort of psychology role or something like that. I also got I've been very much in the journalism world though my whole career, so like I could see myself being I could have a political show. You know, if I retired from fantasy, let's say 12 years from now, because believe me, nothing's happening anytime soon. We're just building this bad boy up. This is going to be going for a decade plus. But let's say in 12, 15 years, I decide to step away. I could see myself creating a political show, like a political talk show. I don't bring a lot of politics into this, but I think politics are fascinating. But, okay, Steven, appreciate you calling anytime, pal.
Yeah, no problem, man. If I see any rumors or anything, I'll try to send it your way tonight at midnight.
Dial in.
Good night, man.
Dial in later, man. Okay, let's go to let's see here. This is Fred, right? George. This is George right here. Sorry, George.
Yeah, this is George.
Fred. I don't know why I called you Fred. Hold on, George.
Yeah.
George, where are you at? Where are you from? Where are you at, George? Where are you from?
He's in the Bay Area.
I live in California, in the Bay Area.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry, Ron. Jeez, Ron. Ron, there's a lot of people.
Remember that.
Ron, there's a lot of people on my line.
Ron's on top but I'm remembering them. You should.
You focus on Camara, Ron. Focus on your flight down to meet Camara.
Hey, George, what part of the Bay Area are you in?
East Bay, like Oakland side.
Okay. My first 4 years in the Navy, I was stationed right there in the Bay Area at Concord Naval Weapons Station on ship. And I know the area well.
Ron's been around.
Yeah, I'm in Concord.
Ron's
you're in Concord?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your ship got around, Ron.
Back when I was there, they had this guy that was he lost his legs laying across the railroad tracks there at the Naval Weapons Station protesting. The train ran him over.
Oh, geez. The train, was he trying to stop the train?
Yes. Yeah, he was because the Bay Area is known for their political activism and anti-war and all that. So
hold on. Ron. Isaac, who fell asleep on the show the other day. We haven't heard from this man ever since he fell asleep. We thought we lost him. He was in a total REM sleep, snoring away in a sleep apnea deprived or riddled situation, and all of a sudden he stopped breathing. And Isaac, I swear, we almost called the authorities. Isaac says, the Isaac is here. This is for falling asleep on the show recently, right after I was talking about Rock Out. Put me in the bedroom. I deserve it. P.S. Belichick probably watching Lamar film as we speak. Isaac, appreciate your $10 holler. All $10 hollers get a moonshot. So Isaac is the man. So glad Isaac is okay. I'm sorry, Ron.
Clean the room, Isaac.
Hey, George from the Bay. Appreciate you. I've got you in the system here. I'm going to put you in as George from the Bay. So you call in anytime. I'll see you call in, and I'll answer the call a little bit more frequently when I see who it is. You know what I mean? Because I get a lot of calls, and some are unknown.
Yeah,
I don't ever answer block calls. But I got you in here, so you're on the speed dial list, bro. Dial in anytime, George.
Awesome.
All right. Ron,
Later.
10 seconds. Later, George. Ron, 10 seconds.
I had to put a Band-Aid on my knee because I hit my knee and it started bleeding pretty good.
Well, I don't know if you guys saw my Instagram, but I pretty much my finger's gone down a lot. But this pinky finger right here, I don't know if you can see the difference on here. Probably not that much. But I got up and I was on like 2 hours of sleep because I sleep so bad because I'm breaking new. I'm doing stuff, like tonight. I'll be live tonight. I got to wake up really early in the morning. I didn't really pay attention. I got up and I just stretched. I went like this. I put my hand through the fan, the ceiling fan, and I didn't just hit it. I literally went about a foot above the fan, and it went, and I brought it down.
Oh, yeah.
But my hand was so far above, I had to bring it all the way down, and my finger swelled up so bad. Go look at my Instagram. I have it on there. It's gone down quite a bit. This is the one, but it's a little bit thicker. You can't really see it too much right now, but it is definitely a little crooked. I don't know if I got to go have it reset, but man, it's stinging. It's throbbing.
You sound like you're academic prone like me.
But
we got about the same sleeping habits also.
Yeah, go look at my Instagram, guys, on the stories. It's the finger is so swollen. I put ice on it all morning. But hey, Ron, I'll see you tonight. We'll do some drafts. We'll do let me play this real quick. Let me let Ron go. Ron, I'll see you tonight. We're gonna all be playing for this Garrett Wilson autographed jersey here. So I'll see you tonight.
Yeah, let me know when you're going live.
All right. Later, Ron.
Later.
Let me play this video for you so you guys understand what's going on with this Battle of the Moon Men contest. It's time to give away a signed Garrett Wilson jersey. I think so. If you want a chance to win this beauty right here, Garrett Wilson autographed jersey.
Smitty, that's mine. What do I gotta do to win it? Tell me now.
First, I'm going to say Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. Second, I'm going to say starting after the NFL draft, we will be doing private drafts mostly on Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays around midnight to 12:30 a.m. Eastern. And every time I drop a private draft link, aka Battle of the Moon Men is what we call this tournament. Every time I drop a private draft link, said draft link will be kept track of. Your boy Smitty will have the boys at Underdog keeping track of every league that I give them a link for that is included in said Battle of Moon Men. Then at the end of week 14, Underdog will let us know which one of you scored the most points in weeks 1 through 14, the regular season. Out of all of the leagues we do that are called Battle of the Moon Men leagues, something we'll probably do from right after the NFL draft all the way up to the season. Every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Private links that I drop in my live YouTube. All you got to do is click it. And right now, if you're watching this on Instagram at all, in my bio is a link that will sign you up. Click that link, Underdog Fantasy. Otherwise, all you got to do is use promo code Smitty or use the link that I give you during the live stream. Everybody and their mother wants this Garrett Wilson autographed jersey.
Garrett Wilson.
Show up during a Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday live stream on YouTube, and the links are dropped in the chat. I also have a link in the description of pretty much every YouTube video I have. So get ready.
Battle of the Moon Men commences soon.
Yeah, come get it, baby. So you heard it from me. We're doing a Battle of the Moon Men tonight. I'll see you all later. We'll probably do a Dynasty podcast as well, a Dynasty show. I'll see you all tonight. Appreciate you.
Brees Hall is 8 foot tall. He will always answer the mother freaking call. Don't let him fall. In the third, don't stall. Just give Batman the freaking football.
He's Brees. He's Brees.
He does a hull of a job. A hull of a job. A hull of a job.
Brees Hall, please report to the moon.
He does a hell of a job.
People are getting burrowed left and right, and people are going to remember it.